Tonight, DC City Council member Trayon White has been arrested and charged with federal criminal bribery charges. All that and more on episode number 79 of Up to Speed with Tripp Simpson.
I'd rather get it out the mud than get it for free. I'd rather settle it up front than run and retreat. I son these niggas just for fun, no need for caprice. And if you tell me that I'm done, you must think I'm deceased. With every breath I take, I'm taking it further. Fuck the world a couple times and deserter. Killing niggas off with every word. I'm talking first degree murder. Just sit back, relax, be the observer. See niggas really want me out of line. I'm seeing the signs. Every time I speak what's on my mind, I'm reaching divine. No, I need my mental realign, so I'm taking my time. But I can't let these people just define what they don't understand. I'm a real nigga, it's deep in my veins. And if you cut me open right now, you'd understand the reason I speak with the pain. I know a lot of people seek my defeat and it's strange, cause they gon' be the real reason I peak with the fame. All these opinions from people who never made it, I truly would rather speak with the greatest. I'm talking Drake, Cole, and Lil Wayne. Man, I know I ain't famous, but I'ma make them seek me out when they play this. The name is King Art, reppin' that Southeast. Niggas always doubt me, but I keep it real. Other niggas hella mouthy. Pillow talking niggas always saying shit about me. Every time we bring it up, the conversation get cloudy, so I learn to move different. I never ask for permission, only forgiveness from the people who would choose to listen. A lot of niggas turn they back, I guess they mood switching. I tried to hold it all in, but man, it's too tempting. Listen, we don't compare, I thought you knew different. I thought you knew better than this, I guess you fools slipping. See, jealousy gon' take control and have you tomb digging. And we gon' leave you in that bowl like the spoon missing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Up to Speed with Tripp Simpson. I am your host, Tripp Simpson, in the building.
The first of his name, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms and Protector of the Realm.
That's right. And before we get this live stream started tonight, first and foremost, you know, we got to handle business.
Family moving up in the business. I know you're going to look after family.
What family you talking about, Ice?
Fuck, I look invisible, nigga.
That's right. I am not invisible, so do me a favor. If you're watching live on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that share button. And if you're watching live on Facebook, hit that like button, hit that share button. Now, also, I don't know what the heck is going on with my Instagram stream, but we got some technical difficulties over here. I was trying to go live from Instagram too, but I don't know. Something is going on. Try this one more time. See if I can get Instagram up. If not, I don't know, man. Yep, it's not going up. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Oh, well, I ain't going to worry about it. No Instagram tonight. But, got a couple of topics I want to talk about tonight. Of course, we got our main topic, which is going to be this Trayon White situation. Now, if you haven't heard, Washington, D.C. Ward 8 City Council member Trayon White has been arrested by the feds and charged, let me get my sound right, and charged with criminal bribery charges. And I think he's facing up to 15 years in federal prison. So before I get into my thoughts on this situation, I want to read an article real quick, and then we'll go from there. All right? So bear with me. All right. Is that up? All right, so here's the article here. So it says, DC Councilman stuffed pockets with envelopes of cash in alleged bribery scheme, feds allege. All right, the U.S. Department of Justice has released the reason Washington, D.C. City Council member Trayon White Sr. was arrested on Sunday afternoon. White faces a bribery charge, according to a criminal complaint. obtained by Fox News. The 40-year-old, who represents Ward 8, is chair of the council's Committee on Recreation, Libraries, and Youth Affairs, which oversees several agencies, including the D.C. Department of Youth Rehabilitation Services, according to the Department of Justice press release. The complaint alleges that beginning in June 2024, White corruptly agreed to $156,000 in cash payments in exchange for using his position as a D.C. council member to pressure government employees at Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement and DYRS to extend several D.C. contracts, the release states. The contracts, valued at $5.2 million, were two of the companies to provide violence intervention services in D.C. White's agreement with the confidential human source, the owner of the companies, including the source's payments to White of $35,000 in cash on 4 separate occasions, June 26th, July 27th, July 25th, and August 9th of 2024, and the source showing White a document reflecting how White's 3% cut was calculated based on those contracts. And all of this was captured on video. The Department of Justice states. Court docs allege White was corruptly given gifts that included travel to the Dominican Republic and Las Vegas, Nevada. White made national headlines in March 2018 when he suggested that the Jewish financiers control the weather. The claim came as he filmed himself driving through downtown Washington in the snow and ranted about climate manipulation. And DC keep talking about we're a resilient city. And that's a model based off the Rothschilds controlling the climate to create natural disasters that they can pay for to own the cities, man. He said in the now deleted video. Be careful. The Rothschilds, a European Jewish banking family descended from Meyer Amschel Rothschild, have been the subject of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories for centuries, including that they control the world's financial institutions and manipulate world events to their benefit. White initially defended his comments, saying the video says what it says, but he later apologized to the Jewish community. Let me stop right there real quick, too. I think that is really ridiculous. So you can't even talk about someone who happens to be Jewish. You can't even talk about them and don't even mention the fact that they're Jewish without being called anti-Semitic. That's insane. That's insane. Now, did I think he should have made that comment on social media? I mean, a guy in his position, I don't think I would have done that. But nonetheless, he has the right of free speech and he has the right to his opinion. But anyway, let's continue the article. All right. White would later come under fire in 2018 after it was reported that he donated $500 to the Nation of Islam convention in Chicago, where Louis Farrakhan attacked quote-unquote powerful Jews as his enemy and made other disparaging comments. I'm not resigning. I'm not backing down. I'm not discouraged. I'm not depressed. So run all the media stories you want because my people are going to support me, White said at the time when faced with backlash. White was released on bond on his own recognizance, Fox 5 DC reports. He faces up to 15 years behind bars, up to a $250,000 fine, or 3 times the amount of the alleged bribe, the local TV station said. All right. So there we have it. First off, I gotta say this. I personally like Trayon White. He's appeared on my show a few times, even back when we first started with Straight Talk No Chase back at Listen Vision. Trayon White was one of the first guests we had. So shout out to him for that. All right. In addition, we've got a lot of mutual friends. And other than the fact that he's a Democrat, I think all in all, he's a good dude. And it's unfortunate that he has to go through this. All right. Now, however, we got to call a spade a spade. If they got him on tape,
any attempt to restrict drinking and driving here is viewed by...
Good Lord, I don't know why that cut off. But anyway, if they got him on tape If they got this man on tape, he's cooked.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
They got him on tape, he's cooked. Now, my issue here is the comparison that a lot of people are trying to make to Marion Barry. Okay, this is not the same scenario, nor is it anywhere near the same sort of crime that Marion Barry was accused of committing. Marion Barry was truly set up by the FBI and severely overcharged for a petty offense. The feds literally planted crack cocaine onto a beautiful woman who coerced him into taking one hit of a crack pipe while he was drunk. And then once he hit the crack pipe, then the feds stormed in the hotel and arrested him. He ended up doing like 6 months in prison, which was just long enough for him not to be eligible to seek re-election. Trayon, on the other hand, I mean, allegedly, they got him on tape, taking $146,000, broken down into 4 payments. That's pretty cut and dry. Now, the feds probably got wind of what he was doing, so they put their informant in place, and boom, that's how they got him. I mean, and one thing I almost forgot. He probably been on their radar for a little second. I mean, remember a few months back, they were investigating $60,000 or $80,000 worth of public campaign funds that went missing out of his campaign account. And see, once they get a whiff of your shit, and I'm talking about the feds. Once the feds get a whiff of your shit, then they start sniffing, and eventually they start digging. So yeah, man, bro should have known not to be messing around like that. They already think you stole the campaign funds. Then they see you taking trips to DR and then Vegas. This is all alleged, by the way. But yeah, they probably looked into who funded the trips, started questioning them, and boom, they turned informant. And the rest is history. Always remember, the feds measure twice and cut once. All right, you got to remember, the feds have a 95, okay? A 95% conviction rate.
Okay, Michael. Regular or extra crispy?
Now, another thing I'm hearing a lot of people running around here saying that this was a conspiracy from the white man to take another black brother down that was helping his community. Bro, y'all need to hear me loud and clear, and I say this with all due respect. I'm not trying to disparage Trayon White, but there's absolutely nothing Trayon White was doing in Ward 8 as a city councilman that would warrant the attention or even put him on the radar of the white man, especially with the FBI and Department of Justice under the Biden-Harris regime. Like I said, with all due respect, Trayon keeps the wheels of communism spinning in Ward 8. And I'm not saying that as something negative, you know, niggas, oh, you hating, blah, blah. No, I'm not hating, okay? He keeps those wheels spinning. And just in case you aren't from DC, Ward 8 is basically what most people consider the worst part of town, or to be politically correct, the most underserved area in Washington, DC. Like if Ward 8 was in New York City, it would be the Bronx. If Ward 8 were in Baltimore, it would be West Baltimore. If it were in Houston, it would be 5th Ward. But back to the point. Trayon is not doing or saying anything to disrupt the status quo, especially when it comes to Ward 8. Niggas are still on welfare. The schools are still terrible. The violence is still out of control and unemployment is still running rampant. So somebody please show me where or how Trayvon White is a threat to the white man. As far as I know, he votes the way what I like to call the deep city, you know, kind of like the deep state, but in DC they got the deep city. He votes the way the deep city wants him to vote. Occasionally he may go against the grain here or there, but he's got to do that to keep his appeal to his base. In real talk, like I said, none of what I'm saying is to disparage him. To be honest, he couldn't fix Ward 8 if he tried. Nobody can. But my point is, he isn't a threat to the system. So all the white man's out to get him shit is just a coping mechanism that niggas use when they don't want to come to grips with reality. My advice to Trayon is, bro, if they got you live in 4K, just take a plea. They probably just give you a shit ton of probation and you'll have to pay your fines. Please do not go playing with the feds and get yourself 15 years over this bullshit. Cooperate, get your sentence reduced, and start a YouTube page or something. That's all I got for you, man. Don't play with the feds, bro. They got you live in 4K. They've been setting you up for months. Just do what you got to do, bro. Cooperate with them. Take your plea. Get your slap on the wrist and move on with your life, bro. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Now, what I'm going to do is later I'm going to bring Mezzy and JP in. I just got two more quick topics I want to go over. When I bring in Mezzy and Jay-Z, we're going to go through the actual Trayon White court documents because I want to show you exactly how bad they got this man tied up. We're going to go through it. But first, I got two other topics I want to get through real quick. Then I'm going to bring in Mezzy and JP. And I think we may have somebody else calling in as well. Also, I am going to post the link in the Facebook and YouTube chats for anyone who would like to join in on the conversation. I'm going to post that too. All right. But for now, we're going to get to these other topics real quick. And then we're coming back to Trayon White. All right. So let's see. What do we have up next? Here we go. All right. More foolishness from the conscious community. And I know my man Mezzy, aka King Khufu, he's going to agree with me on this one, but we can talk about that later too. We can definitely talk about that later. But yeah, we got more foolishness from the conscious community. This next clip I'm going to play is from the 19 Keyz podcast, High Level Conversations. Emphasis on high.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Anyways, 19 Keyz is interviewing scammer / professional conscious pontificator Billy Carson and asks him one of the dumbest questions a grown man could ask another grown man in 2024. Let's get it. Give me a second. Shit up. All right, hold on.
Or God.
I know that I'm.
Hey, everybody.
Do you believe you are God?
I know that I'm a God.
All right, let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. Do you believe that you are a God? Do you believe that you are a God? With all the shit going on in the world and in society today, you have two grown-ass men who claim to be having a conversation of high intelligence, claiming to be gods. I just want to stress that. I just want to stress that point. This is what the conversation is, people. In 2024, all this shit going on across the world. And this is what these niggas choose to discuss. All right, let's get into it. And granted, this is a small piece of a bigger interview, but I guarantee you, the entire interview was full of foolishness. One of the other topics is Jesus an alien? Another topic was what's really going on in Antarctica? Like, come on, get the hell out of here. What are you niggas talking about? Anyway, let's get back to this.
I know because I'm going to tell you right now, it's because of science. The universe, people call it God. It's conscious. It's a conscious mind. And that mind wants to collect information about what it's like to be in the third dimension. So what does it do? It uses its friends. Who are its friends? Me, you, and everyone else on the entire planet, everyone else in the entire universe. We are actually a piece or a extension of God, experiencing life subjectively with the illusion of individuality, the illusion of separation, having a unique experience and transmitting that information through consciousness back to the source so that God can understand what it's like to experience life subjectively throughout the entire known universe, as Billy, as 19 Keyz, as Mike Rashid, as Dr. Be Serious, and everyone else. Because of that, I believe that we are a fractal of God literally walking in the flesh.
So here's my thing. And at the risk of sounding like a true hater, why do niggas entertain people like this? Bruh, this man just said a whole lot of nothing, and people are praising him as if he's some sort of genius or prophet or something. Black folks just love listening to niggas who improperly use big words. But seriously though, let me ask you this. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that we all are gods, that all of us are gods. Well, if everyone is a god, what is the significance of being one? I mean, in the context in which he's speaking, being a god is essentially some regular shit. So if all you have to do to prove you're a god is be born, then it's really not worth talking about. But yet, black folks will take information like this and run with it. Fam, Billy Carson is a known scammer, and it's baffling to me why 19 Keyz and other staples of the conscious, emphasis on the word con, but on the conscious community, to give this guy a platform. His entire platform used to be about cryptocurrency. He doesn't really do that anymore because he already stole a bunch of people's money. And secrets about alien civilizations. Secrets about alien civilizations. This is what niggas is talking about this high-level conversations. You niggas is talking about aliens. That's the problem with niggas, man. Niggas want to escape reality so bad, they're willing to let a nigga sit up and tell them anything just so they can feel better about their existence. Aliens. I mean, at one point, this nigga was claiming to have degrees from Harvard and MIT, but that was debunked. Matter of fact, shout out to my man Pocket Watching with JT. Pocket Watching with JT debunked all that shit. We ended up discovering that Mr. Carson has certificates, not degrees. He has certificates, not degrees, from these universities, and each certificate that he has, and I think it's 2 of them, one from MIT and one from Harvard, each of those certificates I think were free and they can be obtained in 6 weeks. So what's my point? My point is, this guy isn't valid, and it's just another example of why you can't really trust anyone coming out of that particular sector of internet. And what I mean by that particular sector, I mean the conscious community. As I stated on the show prior, the conscious community has bought you scamming ass Umar Johnson. The conscious community has bought you scamming ass Brother Polite. The conscious community has bought you scamming ass Vicky Dillard. The conscious community has bought you Nature Boy. The conscious community has bought you the nigga that's running around here talking about you can drink your own urine, and human beings aren't meant to drink water. This is the type of shit coming from the conscious community. Don't get me wrong. I used to pay attention to the shit they used to say back in the day, but I came up on the old school niggas like Dr. Phil Valentine, niggas like that, who actually was teaching real lessons. Now these niggas is talking about space and all type of wild shit that's not relevant to the average black person living in America or living on Earth for that matter. Shout out to my man Amir Tay Herndon. He says greed is the downfall of man. That's a fact. He says, I think he's talking about Trayon White. He says, not a black or white thing, definitely political. Definitely. And he says, he definitely said a bunch of far out nonsense. For sure. For sure. All right, Cosby, yeah, I'll send you that link. Give me a second. Give me a second. I got you, man. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this link over to Cosby real quick. All right, Cosby's gonna join us too when Mezzy and them come in. All right, so where was I? So yeah, man, these niggas in the conscious community, all full of crap. Now, let's get to the last topic before we get to our guest. Have y'all seen this video of Tia Kemp, Rick Ross's baby mother, Blueface's mother, and Tokyo Tony? Have y'all seen this video? So apparently these three senior 304s have a podcast together called the Aunt T Podcast. And if I'm not mistaken, it hasn't been out that long. But it appears as if there's already major resentment growing amongst the three of them. All right, so we're going to check that video out real quick. We'll get into our commentary, and then we'll keep it moving. All right, see if we can find that video.
One more time to say something to me fucked up, and I'm gonna reach over this table and I'm gonna knock your fucking head off.
You should do it right motherfucking now.
I sure can.
We need to go ahead and get
I
this
sure
shit
the
over
fuck
with.
can.
We need to get
I
this
sure
shit
the
over
fuck
with.
can.
I'm gonna beat your motherfucking ass.
I'm gonna beat your motherfucking asshole. Y'all better check this bitch.
I'm not the one, so
y'all better check this bitch. I'm
not the
evil.
one. I'm letting you know. I'm gonna beat
Dude,
your ass.
I'm gonna let y'all let this bitch run
walk your ass.
Come on, sit down.
Make sure you do it after this shit over.
I'm a dog walk your ass.
Make sure you do it after this is over, bitch.
Okay.
Make sure. You better.
Just so you know.
You better. And I'm gonna tell him to kick your motherfucking face off your motherfucking head, ho. Okay, we're gonna see. We're gonna see, bitch. This is why. This is why.
Hold tight or just literally making sure our cameras are angled.
I don't give a fuck what your cameras is. You need to check these bitches. One more time.
Bro. Bro. This just goes to show you what I always say. This just goes to show you what I always say. It is impossible for women to build anything together. It's impossible. Bro, I think they only on, this gotta be episode 3, 4, or 5. And they're already at each other's throats. Now, not only is this a prime example of why women can't work or build anything together, this is also a prime example of one of the major issues that we have in the black community. This is one of the prime problems that we have in the black community. And what's that problem? It's that women like this head 70% of our households. It's women like this. And all three of these women just so happen to be horrible mothers. Rick Ross's baby mother publicly blasts the father of her child on the internet like it's her goddamn job. That shit can't be good for the kid's mental health. I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist. but it can't be good. Tokyo Tony, a former stripper who raised her daughter to follow in her footsteps. And she's a former DC stripper, so you know she's a piece of shit. She an old school DC hoe. So you already know what kind of foolishness was going on in that household. Blueface's mother. I mean, what can I say? She raised Blueface. Blueface, I mean, he was a decent athlete, but he had no emotional control. And he ended up losing a great opportunity to play sports. He ended up joining a gang and becoming a rapper. He joined a gang, became a rapper, a felon, and a serial baby daddy. See, the problem with all of these women and the children that they raised is that male authority in the household was never a priority to them. That's why they lack order. And that's why their kids lack order. These three women are a microcosm of the black community as a whole. They are a microcosm. And don't get it twisted. It's not just the hood rats. It's not just the hood rats. It's also the distinguished women that have influence that are a hindrance to black society as well. Perfect example of this clip I'm about to show you of Cheryl Lee Ralph. Let me show you this clip.
Hey everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Listen, this message is for those.
Uh-oh.
Hey everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Listen, this message is for those of you.
Okay, I don't know what just happened to my Instagram page. Hold up, give me a second. We've removed your content. What? Bro, this is the second time in a row they did this shit to me. Man, give me a second, man. Hold up. Remember last episode, they removed my Instagram page. I didn't even know they let me go live this time. I didn't even think I was live on Instagram. They just told me they removed my content. So anyway, let's get back to Shirley Ralph. Let's get back to Shirley Ralph, y'all. A second. All right. Like I said, it's not just the hood rats giving out terrible advice who should not be talking. It's also the distinguished women too.
Hope you're having a wonderful day. Listen, this message is for those of you who are of a certain age, over 40. Some of the things you used to do and say when you were young, they're not going to work right now. Okay? These children right about now, they want to be called by their name. They want to be respected with their pronouns. Now, I know it might be hard for some of you to say, hey, Apple, how you doing? It might even be more difficult for some folks when maybe they don't look like a he or a she to you, but they want to be called they, him, or her. Call them by their name. Please don't call them out of their name. You know how you get when people call you out of your name. Don't do it. All right? Just try. Thank you.
All right. So, woo. Shout out to my man, Minister Jap. Another YouTuber that I watch. Minister Jap says it best. These 304s do not need microphones. And this is the nonsense I be talking about. When are black men going to step up? Let me fix the screen real quick. Damn it. But yeah, when are black men going to step up and shut these women up? Well, I can answer that. Probably never. Because like I stated earlier, 70% of you niggas were raised to submit to women. That's why you got soft niggas like D.L. Hughley, Ricky Smiley, and Steve Harvey out here on a bend the knee tour for Kamala Harris. But back to my point. What possessed this woman to take the time out of her day to publicly promote this alphabet mafia propaganda? What possessed her? It's funny too, because she'll be the same one crying when a nigga in a wig beats the brakes off a chick in women's sports. She'll be the same one crying when a nigga in a wig pops up in the locker room with his junk out, trying to get his jollies off under the protection of this same pronoun nonsense that she's out here promoting. I mean, I have to say it. Excuse me, I really hate to say it. I really hate to say this. And it might just be a subconscious action. All right? It might just be a subconscious action. But between the chicks fighting in the first video and Cheryl Lee Ralph in the second video, it's a reasonable conclusion that black women are the current gatekeepers of degeneracy in America. They are the gatekeepers of degeneracy. At least that's what's perpetrated through the mainstream media. I'm not saying all black women or even that most black women are on this nonsense, but the ones that aren't are too quiet. And since you won't step up and separate yourself from the foolishness, you'll all get lumped in it. I said this a million times on this show. Black women are making the same mistake black men made in the early 90s when we co-signed the whole gangster rap mentality. We sit up and wonder why we are the most incarcerated group in America, and y'all sit up and wonder why y'all are the least married group in America. And it's plain to see. It's because we both genders, willingly squandered our images. Y'all want to blame the Jews? Y'all want to blame all these people? No, you have to look in the mirror. It's us on the TV screens embarrassing ourselves. It's us. And it's to the point now where all this shit is normalized. Man, I was on Instagram earlier and I'm looking at some of the comments on Trayon, and it's niggas on the internet or on social media talking about, man, it's always a rat. The rat did him in. The rat did him in. Bro, the feds came to this nigga and told him, we got you on PPP scams, we got you on this, we got you on that. Give us Trayon or you're getting 20 years. The nigga was like, okay. He go try. But what I'm saying is, not that you should be a rat, but at the same time, why is the fact that people call the police or cooperate with the police such a big deal in Black America? Like, snitching is like one of the biggest offenses you could do, right? Even if you're not committing a crime with somebody. If you witness a crime, if you witness a murder and you tell the police, you're considered a snitch. This is not how normal people in a productive society are supposed to operate. That's all I'm saying. Oh man, my man Cosby's going crazy over here on Facebook. In the Facebook, she said, why are you advocating for rats? My nigga, I don't care about rats. I don't care about advocating for anybody. I'm not a criminal. I'm not in the criminal world. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. If I saw a rat walking down the street, a known rat, I wouldn't give a fuck. How you doing, sir? Keep going by my day. Doesn't bother me. I don't involve myself with criminals, bro. But that just goes back to what I was saying. Black men, we have attached ourselves to this criminal gangster mentality, and it doesn't do us no good. But anyway, I'm about to open up the lines, and we're gonna get back on this Trayon topic. Like I said, I got the court documents, so we're just gonna go through what he's being accused of, and then we'll run through some of the other topics. We got let me see who we got in the house. Who we got here? Let's bring them on in. Let me fix my audio real quick. All right. And Brandon Harris, if you want to call on in, you can call in, man. You can call. see. The Brandon Harris, if you call on in, you can call in, man. So who's watching the show in the background? You got to turn it off. Is Alvin Queen in there? You got to turn it off.
How was it us?
Oh, you on two phones, Cosby? Which one you want to use, man? Right, somebody's got the show going in the background. You got to turn it down. You got to turn it off because it's going to keep echoing. Oh, you on two phones, Cosby? Which one you want to use, man?
One for the plug, one for the load.
You got to turn it down. You got to turn it off.
I did, hope.
Whoever's got the background feed, you got to turn it off, bro. It's
yeah, it's still a lot of feedback.
Yeah, Cosby, that's you. You got to turn it off, man. Whatever you got in the background, you got to turn it off. Hello? All right, here we go. All right, ladies, excuse me, fellas. How's everybody doing? We got my man Mezzy, aka King Kufu, in the house. Kufu. We got JP Reloaded Insights in the building.
Yeah, no.
We got Cosby, and we also got Cosby in the building. The one and only Cosby Digital. How you doing today, sir? Cosby. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know what you got in your background. You might. I don't know what's on, but like something's interfering with the feed, man. But anyways, I'm gonna start with you, JP.
Because I'm streaming it.
Yeah, you got to turn it off. You just watch it through StreamYard.
Well, I guess I just freestyle a couple of topics that you was discussing earlier. I want to start with the residents of Ward 8. I heard there's been some mixed feelings. If you can hear me?
For sure. I just want to let everybody know. Let's keep it Trayon for right now, and then I'll let you know when we move on to the other topics.
That's cool. I've been doing a little research myself on him because, as you mentioned earlier, he came past the old show, and I had a chance to rap to him that day as well. I heard there's been a lot of frustration and mixed feelings in Ward 8. On one hand, some folks are saying, here we go again, because they tired of the politicians letting them down and stuff like that, right? Especially in that community where they're already facing so many challenges and shit like that. On the other hand, right, there's still some supporters who are shocked and still holding a hope for this man. You know what I'm saying? And they think it's just a misunderstanding.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So people in the community, they trusted White as the voice of the people, you know what I'm saying, to fight for their issues. So it's a real shame because of the Ward 8 needed a strong leadership.
For sure. I mean, they need a strong leadership, but I mean, at the same time, I mean, I'm realistic. I don't think that there's anything Trayon White could actually do to fix Ward 8. All right. I mean, if you're not going to come out and say you need men in the homes, and that's the biggest problem here, we're just pissing out the window, bro. Like there's no other solution.
I totally agree. And he's coming from a Democratic stance, and I don't recall any Democrat speaking about keeping the fathers in their home. I really can't recall.
For sure. Now, I can't speak for Trey. I can't say he's never said that. I can't say he's never mentioned that, because I may recall him maybe mentioning something like that.
Trayon definitely speaks about the black family.
Hold on, bro. You just cut me off, man.
No, I'm just saying, because y'all was about to misquote him. Trayon definitely speaks about the importance of the black family.
But anyway, my point is Ward 8 can't be fixed unless that problem is fixed. I mean, as long as we keep giving people welfare and giving people outs and not really dealing with the fact that the family system is broken, then we're gonna have the same things. These kids don't have any authority in their homes. They don't.
I would like to know, and I would like to know either JP or Tripp. You answer this. How, if you were Trayon White, how would you fix Ward 8?
I would definitely bring up that solution of. I would be very adamant on the fathers in the house and building family and rebuilding men. You know, I would be real adamant on that as he is on the crime. So he's missing that part, but dealing with this part. You know what I'm saying? That's my perspective.
If I was Trayon White, I would do exactly what Trayon White does. I wouldn't do anything differently because there's nothing you can do. Like, DC politics is not set up for Trayon White to actually fix the problems in Ward 8. It's not set up like that. I think Trayon plays it great.
Well, that's because he don't want it fixed. Because you can select the right people. Maybe the selection of his people has the same mindset as him. So, you know, things won't get fixed.
JP, have you ever met Trayon or had a conversation outside of us having the podcast for you to come to that conclusion that he doesn't want it fixed?
Well, yes, I've met him before, but never got into those type of conversations. But
so what leads you to believe that he doesn't want it fixed?
Just looking at the track record of it, you know,
meaning what?
What has changed since he's been in?
Well, I'm familiar with has changed. What do you feel like hasn't changed since he's been in?
Well, I know the crime is still rampant.
Are you familiar? Are you familiar with any of his policy accomplishments?
No, but please explain to me.
So I think it's a little disingenuous for you to come on and say, "Well, he's not he doesn't want to fix anything. He doesn't want to do anything." But you're not familiar with any of his policy accomplishments. So I think you're better than that before you come on a podcast to speak about a man, but you don't know anything about the man or his policy. So I challenge you to be better in your research and what you do, number one. Number two, in terms of actually getting funding to Black businesses in Ward 8, getting funding to entrepreneurs in Ward 8, getting community engagement in Ward 8, Trayon has been essential in those areas. Now, has it been perfect? No, but Ward 8 is not a perfect place. You're not dealing with a perfect population. You're not dealing with a high income population. You're not dealing with a highly educated population. You're dealing with food deserts. You're dealing with lack of educational funding in Ward 8. But when you say, has this man had an impact in Ward 8? Absolutely. That's why he's beloved over there. They don't just fuck with him just to fuck with him.
I mean,
right? So that's what I'm saying. So I challenge you to actually look at policy wins and how he advocates when we deal with the city council, how he advocates for Ward 7 and 8, anything east of the river, how he advocates for the people over there. So I would say, do you live in Ward 7 or 8?
No, I'm familiar with it though.
It doesn't sound like you're familiar because you don't know anything about his policy. So how are you familiar?
Well, you tell me about it.
I'm just telling you about it, but you just say you're familiar, but you don't know any policies.
Now,
you don't know policy wins or policy losses. So how can you comment on policy?
Well, the policies that he did have, and you do know about it, right? Has those policies been exercised to the fullest?
What does that even mean?
I mean, I think that's a valid question.
He said have policies been. If you don't even know what the policy is, how can you say the policy has been exercised?
Well, I'm trying to find out.
So we talk about summer lunch programs, kids being fed over the summer or during COVID, meals being given to kids who had food insecurity. If you don't even know about the policy, how can you comment on has the policy been led to the fullest?
So you're gonna talk about some food.
So kids going hungry, that's not important to you?
Kids not going hungry.
So that's what I'm saying. You're ignorant to policy. So it's a lot of children that are in DC public schools if they don't get meals at school, they'll go hungry. Are
No,
you familiar? Are you familiar with that? Do you have any children in DC public schools, or do you know anything about DC public schools lunch programs?
We getting off topic.
No, this is exactly on topic because this is policy. You say you know policy, but it sounds like you don't know anything about policy. So do you know anything about the summer lunch policies that were enacted in Ward 7 and 8 during the pandemic and past the pandemic to make sure kids had food to eat even though they weren't in school?
I bet you it was high in sugar.
I mean, we're okay. So hold on. Let me reel this in because we're about to go down a rabbit hole of nothing. I mean,
this is specific policy. So I get it. I just wanted to make light of people coming on saying, "Well, the policies don't work," but they know absolutely nothing about any policy.
You only gave me food.
So I mean, listen. I don't.
But you already admitted you don't know shit about the policy, so I'm gonna leave you.
I don't think that.
We can move on. We can move on.
I don't think that. I'm not looking at Trayon White in a negative sense here, but when it comes to politics in DC, it's pretty cut and dry the way things are. So I'm just saying the only reason I even brought up anything about what he does in Ward 8 is because I was just trying to say to the people who think he's being targeted just because he's a black man trying to save his community, I think that's a bullshit argument.
Why?
Because he's not doing anything to disrupt the status quo. And that's not a knock against him or credit. It's just saying there's nothing there.
So I'm gonna pose the same question to you, Tripp, and I hope you did research before the show. Are you familiar with his policy successes and policy failures in Ward 8?
So before we go down this rabbit hole, right?
It's not a rabbit hole. That's a yes or no. Are you familiar?
Before we go down this rabbit hole, before we go down this rabbit hole,
it's not a rabbit hole.
I'm not. Hold on. I'm not about to go back and forth with you over school lunch and dumb shit like that. The bottom line is,
no, I'm saying name one. I need you to name one policy. Just one. This is not a big back and forth. Name one policy that you feel like he enacted that was not useful or worthless, or name one policy that you think he tried to enact that didn't work. Just one.
Okay, I'll give you one. I'll give you one right away, and we can go to the one that he's in trouble for right now: the violence interrupters. That didn't work. They don't interrupt no motherfucking violence. They're getting paid millions of dollars, and he's getting paid under the table for it. It didn't fucking work. And now he's in fucking court with the FBI because of it.
You know, a great policy would be
that's a valid argument to have, right? I've seen some of the policy work. I looked around. I was like, well, maybe some of these aren't working. So that's actually a valid argument. I actually want to talk about real policy, but in that same light, right? If we look at policy across the board, we talking about DC Council Board 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. If you're familiar with DC politics and politics in general, the only thing Trayon White did wrong was get caught on camera. Because every politician takes money from donors. That is the name of politics. So for anybody to say, well, he's not an outlier, but I will say he did get targeted. I would say he got targeted because I know for sure political donations, trips, favoritism, that nepotism runs DC.
For sure.
Point blank, period.
But
so why I say he got targeted, because if there was an FBI informant to be able to take him down, if they decide to put an FBI informant on a few other council members in DC, I got love for them. So I'm not going to say no specific names. They can get taken down.
For sure. But
if they put some FBI informant on some of the mayor's aides or anybody like that, they can get taken down.
Did you see the point that I made? Did you see the point that I made earlier, though? The point I made earlier was Trayon put this target on himself.
Yeah, I would say he was.
So
yeah.
you look at March.
I'll be the first to admit he said some questionable things.
No, it's not even that. Well, it's remember in March he got caught up with the whole campaign finance shit where there's 80 grand missing from his what's the feedback? Missing from his campaign account. And He didn't have basically no comment about it. I don't know where the money at. I gotta ask my lawyer and my accountant. That right there is enough for the FBI to be like, okay, we got one.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. When I saw that, like, this is the thing. Like, I fuck with Trey, but that was wild. Like, that was egregious. And like you said, if everybody else ship is tight, and if they say you the loose link, your ship is loose, they gonna go after you. So to that, I 100% agree.
Bro, you know how they got the informant? You know how they got it, right? So basically,
PvP, off the PvP shit.
Right. They were going to lock his ass. Well, they knew they could throw some shit at him.
Yeah.
And they knew they could get Trayon. Because once they noticed, okay, his money is funny. He's doing some funny shit. Okay, they watching him on IG. Oh, he in DR? Oh, he in Vegas? Okay, let's look into who paid for that. Once they looked into who paid for that, and then they started scooping and asking more questions. Okay, we got it.
Yeah, and DC circles are so small. Like, if you go to any event, shit, some of my events, everybody is there together. But it's like, that's politics, right? Like, you grease the squeaky wheel. That ain't nothing new. But you got to do it the right way. You got to get campaign donations. You can't take the brown bag.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't. Every politician takes donations. You got to do it the right way. Some taking them the wrong way, but you can't get caught doing it. Like, if we talking about it, like, because it's not an ethics thing, because I don't want to hear any conservatives or Republicans talking about ethics, because Clarence Thomas has got his mama house paid for, tuition paid for, luxury trips, all that shit, and he don't make a comment on it. But he's in a position to where he can say, fuck everybody. I did it. What can you do about it? Nothing, because I'm on the Supreme Court. So it's not an ethics thing. It's how are you conducting your business? And his business wasn't tight.
You can go to the other side of the house. The president.
Oh yeah, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer.
Currently, the president right now, it's a fact that he's taking over $27 million from foreign governments. Wow. There's some feedback coming from me.
Yeah, so but this is the thing. I'm not under no illusion that that's the name of the game. But you got to do it. You got to keep your business tight.
For sure.
The fact that it takes over $1 billion to win a presidential election, left or right, lets you know money is running the game right now.
For sure. And then when it comes to Trayon, right? I mean, at the end of the day, bro, you know they looking at you, bro. You can't make mistakes like that. You should have set up some type of buffer or some other dude to go and get the money. Like, they got you in 4K, bro.
4K. I'm disappointed that he was kind of sloppy in the business. I'm gonna be 100%. I'm disappointed in that because that's politics. But he probably wasn't thinking it's the FBI. That's extreme. That's why I think, like, the conspiracy theory things are coming out, because, okay, even if he was, let's say he did everything they say he did, does that deserve an FBI investigation?
Bro, listen, you put yourself in that position, bro.
No, I just need your answer. Let's say he did everything. He took some bands. He took is that FBI level?
So, okay, here's the thing. You got the city paying the hold on, man. What's going on with my audio clear?
I hear you clearly.
Yeah, like some type of crazy ass back. But anyway, what was I saying?
No, we're talking about did it arise to FBI levels?
So here's the thing. The city was paying the violence detractors a $5 million per year contract, bro. That's a lot of money. So how are these people getting $5 million a year and they're not doing anything to detract violence?
So I disagree if you say they're not doing anything. Are you familiar with any policies, programs?
I am. I'm very
information that came out of that.
Yes. I'm very familiar with them. I as a matter of fact, when I used to drop my son off to pre-kindergarten every day, they'll be out there, right? It's a sham, just like everything else. But
I would disagree that it's a sham, because I've seen a lot of violence intervention programs actually have impact in the community. And if you look at the actual raw numbers of violent crime and murder in
years
DC,
ago,
it's
the
actually
barber
down.
guy,
It's actually down right now.
remember the barber guy? I think you know him. The barber guy that was a violence detractor got killed. The guy that worked up at the barbershop on 4th Street.
Hey, sometimes so that's a whole different program.
No, but that's all. That's all part of the.
But we can't mix apples and oranges. That's a different program. So what I'm saying is, if we look at the overall raw numbers, let's say for the last 2 years, violence is down. Now, carjackings and some of those petty crimes are up, but you talking about assault, murder, violent crimes, they are down.
Last year, DC had the most murders it's had in 20 years. Last year, 2023, we had the most murders we've had in 20 years.
So if you average 2020, 24 to 24, are we up in murders or down?
I don't know. I didn't. Of course, that's a random thing to ask.
That's not a random thing. You picked out 1 year versus the whole program. So I'm saying if you look at if we look at the 4 years, is violence up or down?
Man, I don't know. That's a loaded question, bro.
It's not a loaded. It's down.
Nigga, last year we had the highest murders that we've had in 20 years. This year is not over, so we don't know where the murders are going. But I know
they're trending downward.
I work in the middle of it. Niggas are getting murdered every day. Every time I go to work, at least 3 niggas get murdered. Every time.
When in the history of DC were niggas not getting murdered?
What I'm saying is nothing's getting better. That's an illusion.
If the rates go down, it's getting better. If it goes up, it's getting worse.
Well
that's raw statistics.
But
I just want to add, right, that I did a little search on his policies, and he has some key policies. One was fighting poverty and displacement. 2, youth programs and public safety. 3, health and wellness. 4, community development. And 5, social justice and equality. He was fighting systemic racism.
So he's fighting a ghost.
Right. So he wasting his time. So
hold on real quick. So y'all both on record saying systemic racism doesn't exist.
I'm not saying anything doesn't exist. I'm just saying you're fighting a ghost.
You say you're fighting a ghost. That means ghosts aren't real. So you're saying systemic racism isn't real. So are you both on record saying systemic racism doesn't exist?
I'm saying systemic racism isn't worth fighting.
Okay, you clarify. Okay.
It's not worth fighting. No, it's not. It's the stupidest thing to fight. That's why it's like the carrot they dangle on the tree. One day we're going to stop systemic racism. And you keep going for the carrot. Meanwhile, everything you need to better your life, you can control. But you keep going for the carrot dangling on the tree of systemic racism. Finally,
that's rich. That's rich of you to say. That's rich of you to say. Not being born in Ward 8, not going to substandard schools, not living in a food desert, not being a subject to the war on drugs, and saying, "Yeah, you got everything you need." That's not accurate.
Okay, then if I'm not coming out of that situation, then listen to me. I can tell you.
But someone has to advocate for someone coming out of that situation.
And then the advocacy needs to start at what needs to be done, which is repairing.
And none of these policies.
Nobody's.
So hold on. So let's get into the policy real quick. Let's delve into it, right? So if you're addressing Black families, but you don't address the prison industrial complex, that's not a real thing. If you don't address the war on drugs and you're talking about Black families, that's not a real thing. If you don't address income inequality and you're addressing the family, that's not a real thing.
What I'm saying is all of those things that you just mentioned in communities with strong families, those things don't even bother you because you're not going to commit much crime, so you don't have to worry about prison industrial.
Crime and poverty are linked.
You're not going to war on drugs. You don't have to worry about the war on drugs.
That's an asinine statement. Crime and poverty are linked together like a fucking
No, they're not. That's actually a
hot
myth.
dog and a
That's
bun.
actually a myth. That's
That
actually a myth.
and
That's
that
actually a
doesn't,
myth.
and that's just not in the black community.
You know what
That's every single community.
That's nonsense.
That's every single community across the world.
You
Everywhere you have poverty, you have crime.
in America. You have white communities in America that are way poorer than Ward 8, and the violence is not as high by a long shot. The only direct statistic that you can link between crime and poverty is single mother-led households. That is the only stat that is consistent.
No, sir. So
Yes,
if you go country to country, that it goes past ethnicity, right? If you go to let's say you go to Japan, right? Where your gangs are, your Yakuza, your whatever Japan gang or Asian gang they come from impoverished community. If you go to an Irish community, the impoverished people in the Irish community created gangs, and it was poverty and there was violence. If you go to the Italian community, they created gangs, it was poverty, there was violence. If you go to the fucking Kosovo, Middle Eastern Europe, like they all had violence and gangs when there was poverty. Poverty and crime is explicitly linked. You don't commit crimes if you're doing well. Most crimes are crimes of poverty. Robbery, petty theft.
The show that we're doing tonight is literally about somebody who's doing well, who committed a crime.
That's called a lack of character, right there.
It's not called a so every ethnic group. Hold on. No, I want to address what JP said. He says a lack of character. So every ethnic. No, JP. And let's say in the modernized world, every ethnic group that existed had a lack of moral character.
It wasn't all of them. Why the other ones didn't do
it? They did. The Irish had gangs, poverty and crime. The Italians had gangs, poverty and crime. Eastern European poverty and crime. Asian poverty and crime. So are you saying that's the whole world thing, or are you just saying that's a Black American thing? Because that exists across the whole world.
That's a whole world thing.
So
in America, okay?
So what are you saying?
In America, hold on. In America, right? Let's reel this back to America. In America, okay, 70% of the inmates in jail, Black, white, Hispanic, or anything, 70% of those inmates are products of single mother households. 70% of them. Okay? In the Black community, right? In the Black community,
I'm not sure he's that.
70% of our households are led by single mothers. If we look at the murder rate alone, right? Okay? In 2022, right? In 2022, there were approximately 20,000 people murdered in the United States of America. 11,765 of the murders that were committed in America were committed by Black people. That's over 60% of the murders in one country committed by one demographic, and we're only 13% of the population. That's the truth. Whoever they don't know about that, look it up.
I'm very familiar with the truth, but this is the thing.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
I know exactly why it is.
Go ahead.
So if we have actual public policy, we have culture that leads Black people into impoverished situations, underfunded schools, food deserts, put them in a situation to pit themselves against each other for success. That's what you're going to get. And any situation throughout the history of this world, if you put impoverished people together and make them fight for resources, guess what they're going to do? They're going to kill each other for resources. That's not a Black thing. That's a human being thing. No, in America, we have always... hold on, I'm not finished talking. I'm not finished. In America, historically, we have always been in a position that we had to fight for resources. where other ethnic groups have not had to fight for resources. If you got 10 able-bodied, young, smart men in the community, but you got 5 jobs that make sense for them, you're going to have 5 smart, able-bodied men that's going to go to the streets and figure out how to feed their families. It's always been a numbers game. It's always been a numbers game. If you can undereducate these 5 men, if you can not feed these 5 men, if you can put drugs in these 5 men's community, we're always gonna figure out a way to survive. Survival is not an option; it's a necessity. We're gonna figure out a way to survive. And unfortunately, if we gotta kill somebody that looks like us to survive, we're gonna do it.
Bro,
we're gonna do it, that's not a black thing. That's a human thing.
That's a cool story, right? But at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, our community actually took the biggest plunge.
That's a black thing.
After the welfare state was enabled, after the women decided to go and be feminists and decided that they didn't want men in the home.
Hold on. So Tripp, did the black community come up with that, or was that a government initiated program?
I'm talking. The black community decided that men being in the homes wasn't important, and now we are seeing the results of that. Now, to your point about able-bodied men, okay? There are Venezuelan people coming up here with nothing every day. Look at Washington, D.C. You know what them niggas do? Them niggas is on bicycles, scooters, and mopeds, locking the DoorDash game down, while niggas are standing outside doing nothing.
How did they get the scooters?
Nothing.
You can rent a scooter off the street.
No. So this is a fundamental trope that people push that don't have all the information. I'm about to debunk it right now. How did they get the scooters?
The government.
The government gave them scooters? I didn't know that.
So they were subsidized.
I didn't know the government. I need to fact check that. I don't know if the government's giving them scooters or not.
How did they? So Tripp Simpson, how did they get the scooters?
I be seeing D-Dot scooping up their scooters and taking their scooters off the street.
So no, Tripp Simpson, you had a whole. They pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. They came on a raft. How did they get the scooters to do DoorDash?
I don't know.
Exactly. Nigga, they're subsidized.
Okay. Stop right there. They're subsidized by the government, right? They're subsidized by the government. How do these niggas eat every night? They're subsidized by the government. The government been subsidizing niggas. Niggas are the biggest subsidized group in the country. And now we getting pissed because Venezuelans are come over there.
Actually, per capita, it's more white people on welfare.
No, per capita, there's more black people. In general,
how much? No.
In general, there are more. No. Stop what you're saying because you're wrong. There are more white people on welfare in America because there are more white people. There are 40 million black people and 200 and some odd million white people. So there are clearly more white people on welfare. But per capita, black people by far take the cake.
Well, because they have more access to programs, because we tend to be condensed into major cities that actually have the program. So you're right about that. But it's based on how we live and where we live. But before you get on that whole Venezuelans pull themselves up by their bootstraps, make sure you do your research on how they got their scooters and how they got their hotels and how they got to their situation. I think you should probably.
I can't wait until Trump comes and deports them all back. Okay, I don't care about them.
Now you do care because you held them out as a model minority real quick. Look at the Venezuelans. Look what they were able to do when they came off the raft and they took over the DoorDash. But I don't mention they were subsidized by the government.
The Venezuelans took their subsidies from the government and did something smart and said, okay, we're going to make some money off this. So they all got scooters and they're they're working. For their money.
So you're trying to create a narrative that black people in this country do not work. That is a false narrative. If you actually look at the numbers, black unemployment is lower right now. It's at one of the lowest rates it's ever been. So black people
If you
are
can't
working.
get a job in Washington, D.C., you are just a lazy piece of shit. Washington, D.C., if you a felon, bro, Washington, D.C. will pay for you to get your IT certifications and then dare a job not to give you a job because you're a felon. They'll dare them not to do it. Like, it's so many things in place.
So if you were undereducated from grade 1 to grade 12, you talking about like a nigga just can walk in and get an IT certifications that read on the second grade level. That's not realistic. So I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but you're not actually.
If
No.
I
Can I respond to what you were saying?
I'm responding.
Before you get to the education, you got to get to the parents first.
Can I respond to what you were saying? Real quick, because you said that very loud and boldly, right? If someone is coming from a situation where they were miseducated, promoted through 6 or 7 grades, you're like, oh, they'll just pay you to go to nigga. The average person is not smart enough to go get an IT degree, let alone a convicted felon that's reading on the 3rd grade level cannot go get an IT certificate. That's just what you just said is that's asinine.
He probably can't do that, but he can drive a truck.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I can roll with that. He said IT. I just had to push back on that. A nigga that's been in DC jail or lower, and he's like, hey, he gonna get out. He gonna go get his A+ cloud certification, and it's like, yeah, nigga, why you ain't do that?
You talking about niggas? Are we supposed to feel sorry for niggas that can't read?
No, but you just made it seem like everybody can just walk in the building, get an IT cert, and it's all good.
If you in America,
what are you talking about?
In the work, bro, you get whatever you get what you get, bro. If you don't put in the work, you get what you get.
I mean, here's the thing about America, right? There's opportunities in America, right? You can't deny that. There's opportunities in America. If you want an IT certificate, you can just wait for free. You can get an IT certificate.
No, this nigga's talking about a nigga getting out of jail and just going to get an A+ certificate.
That's not what I said. I said
just reading on the 6th grade level.
No,
that's not an opportunity for them.
It is an opportunity. Certification is not brain surgery, bro.
Here's the thing, right?
I didn't say it's brain surgery, but
hands-on.
Ray can't get it. Hey, just man, I'm here. Ray here.
Hey, well, tell Ray to take his ass to McDonald's. Go to McDonald's then, Ray. It ain't our problem. If you don't want to work and treat you and get your vocabulary up, take your ass to McDonald's where it doesn't matter.
Like I said, America has opportunities. You don't get your vocabulary, go get a GED, get a job. I mean, you got no excuse.
Yeah, they can get a job, but it ain't gonna be IT off the break.
I'm tired.
In the process.
You gotta start somewhere.
Hey man, I'm tired of making excuses for niggas. Niggas got more excuses than
that's not an excuse. That's real life, nigga.
First of all, why you a felon, nigga?
Why Trump a felon?
Hey, if
you vote for him, he got 32 felonies.
You got illegals over here that's making a better living.
He grabbing pussy, he raping bitches, he lying on the stand like Trump a felon.
With all that being done, you still can't be stopped.
JB, we're not going to answer that. We're going to stick to the topic. Now,
he a felon. What you talking about?
Cosby.
Karen said he grabbed the pussy.
If he is, with all that, he still can't be stopped. So that does answer the question.
What was the topic? One more time, since I'm just coming in.
Well, which one?
Well, how dumb felons get to the position that they in?
No. We're not letting Cosby control.
You said why is he a felon? You brought that up. We wasn't talking about felons.
Hold on.
You voted for the felon in chief.
You brought up felons.
He got 32 of them. He got a full clip of them. He got a banana clip of felonies.
Good thing is though, he's got court justices who are going to erase it. So fuck it.
I mean, that don't mean it didn't happen.
It is what it is.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right.
It's who you know.
All right, we're gonna keep that same energy for the rest of the conversation.
I want to roll this back a little bit because we didn't get to hear Mezzy's thoughts on the whole Trayon White situation. So I'll give you the floor, sir.
So I'm not gonna dog him out because me and him actually from different situations before kind of know certain people at the same kind of circle. So I mean, what I will say is this, that what he did was wrong. I mean, wrong is wrong. I mean, there's no I'm not making an excuse for that. I mean, what he did was wrong. But at the same time, it's like, at least he was, I don't want to say an excuse, but he was doing something for the people, but I think he just got misguided along the way. You know what I mean? That's what I personally think. you know, you're in politics. You want to make some money. You try to make a name for yourself. You just probably got misguided along the way. And unfortunately, he's kind of mirroring. I mean, people don't want to say he's like Marion Barry, which is a completely separate, different thing. But at the same time, you're kind of mirroring his direction of the way he politic. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I got a question for y'all too, and maybe you might know this. Cohen, what was the name of the dude in PG County that got caught with all the cash, and the feds came in, and his wife was trying to stuff the shit in her panties? What was?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Jack something. Is it Jack Johnson?
Jack Johnson. It was Jack Johnson.
What the hell was Trayon gonna do with all that cash?
Hey, look. That's why I say, look. That's why he went. It wasn't that. So, and I'm gonna be 100% transparent right now. Right? I understand politics at a very macro level. Everybody's taking money. Right? But what happens to the black politician? We are the low-hanging fruit. Whenever they decide they want to do corruption or crack down or anything, right? We're going to be the first ones. So if we not handling business the right way, if we taking brown envelopes, if we taking the bag, we don't have the proper buffer, we're not funneling it through the right campaign, they're going to take our ass down. Flat out, 100%. So
they couldn't get Vincent Gray.
His shit was tight.
They couldn't get him though. They couldn't.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We all, if you're in politics as a black man, non-profit, you're gonna be in a line of fire if you start doing well, you start helping your community, and if you're gonna take some money, you gotta do that shit tight. You can't be hopping in the van, putting the envelope. You got to have another nigga take the envelope. You never take the bag yourself. You don't take the bag yourself.
Never take the bag yourself, Mo.
You never take the bag yourself.
Bro, 50 sold, you know what a Walmart is?
Yeah.
50 sold that property. The Walmart in Ridge Park that used to be giant and all that.
What?
50 sold that property to his line brother for $3, bro. $3.
Look at it now, though. Look at it now.
There's a Walmart there. There's a big apartment
complex. It's plenty, it's plenty of properties in DC. You'd be surprised niggas sold for $1,
but that's
$3. But they went through the proper channels because you gotta dispute that. Like, hey, that's what I wanted to sell it for. When you take the envelope or you take the bag, you leave yourself open.
Do you think? Do you see? You can't be cool and be in politics at the same time. I want to ask: do you think that he still had that hood mentality while politics?
That's why he took the money. Of course he did.
I mean,
if you advance to the point that he advanced, you can't make it there with a quote unquote hood mentality. But I don't think.
So was he broke?
I don't think he had the advance. I don't think he had the advanced advisors or people around him that other people have had to say, hey, bro, if you even ever go down that road, let this person take it. Let this person put it through this foundation. Let this person purchase a property. You always keep yourself insulated. The moment you start taking envelopes yourself, you kill your insulation. So I don't think it was a hood mentality. I think it was some naivety.
Listen, I love Trayon as a person, but you seen who the type of nigga, the people he got around him. He got conscious community niggas out there.
I seen him. Hey, he been in my neighborhood. Hey, Southeast man. Hey, he's been.
What conscious niggas be around him?
Yo, remember when he came and did the show years ago, and the dude who he said it was his publicist or manager, the dude that was there with the dreads? I'm like, yo, he really rolling around with this nigga? Like,
wow, man, that's deep, man. That's deep.
This nigga doing his business.
I've been seeing with different. I see him more. You know what I'm saying? He be with just
brother,
regular niggas.
I don't know what his name was, but I'm just saying, I'm like, bro.
He be with regular niggas. Now, maybe he shouldn't be with regular niggas. He be too many regular niggas.
I mean, if you're going to take money under the table, if you're going to take money under the table, you need to be around some people that's not regular.
Niggas that wear suits. Niggas that wear suits.
Like with Fenty, right? When he sold the shit to his homeboy for $3, okay, 50 got stake in construction companies.
Did it the right way.
Construction.
Did it the right way.
And he got some kickback, I bet.
Right, of course. So he got the contracts. I'm sure he got kicked back some type of way, some type of legal way. But like that's how you do it.
I'm trying to figure out like what was the motive? Like was Trayon really like suffering? Was he going broke or?
No, nigga, it's politics. Politicians get money. That's what it is.
Well, the question is me.
So especially in DC, so in other cities, right? Like unlike DC, like the politicians got the purse strings for real. Like, remember Stringer Bell on The Wire when he was trying to find the Rainmaker?
Yeah.
He was like, nigga, did you ever really meet the nigga or you only seen him in the lobby? Right? Like, Trayon is the nigga in the lobby. But you really talk to me? Or did we really make a deal? No, nigga, you didn't.
I wanted to ask the question, who's gonna get the money back? Like, how am I gonna get the money? I wonder if he asked the question, or did he pose him the question like, I'm gonna give you X, Y, Z. And I'll say this: the people who got money, I feel like were people who have been entrenched in the community. I'm not gonna comment what they did with the money or not did with the money, but programs were put in place. But this is the thing. I ain't gonna get on no fucking moral high horse like, oh, this nigga should have did everything differently. Like no other politician. Like my first job was in politics, right? My first job ever in social media was in politics and on a mayoral campaign. And I learned politics was a dirty game then. We found out that it was the Houston mayoral race, that Anise Parker, she was a lesbian, right? And we thought, hey, we about to leak this. We in Texas. It's kind of conservative at the time. That's about to take us to victory. Man, we leaked that shit. She got donations from every LGBT organization all over the country. And in a runoff, you getting millions of dollars. That's a win. Right? That let me know that conscience or ethics, that's not politics. You got to play that game.
And that's true. And here's another thing that a lot of people don't know about DC, right? Especially if you're in business and you want to get grants and stuff like that. Do you guys know how influential the prison niggas are in DC?
Yeah.
My nigga, the prison niggas get all the grants. They get all the contracts. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this is a fact, but I got a hunch that this was a prison nigga. They got a contract. I mean, I don't know for a fact.
That's wild speculation, but it could be true.
It's got DC prison nigga written all over it.
No, hey, that nigga, whoever that nigga flipped fast as shit. That's why I was talking shit to you in the comments. I was like, "Oh, you advocating for rat?"
If he goes back to jail,
I would.
Well, what is he gonna do? He's facing 15, right?
Take your fucking time because you stole PPP money.
Nah, I mean, he ain't taking his time now. Shit, they said, okay, well, look, give us Trayon and you got immunity.
Right. Look, I'm not advocating for no fucking snitches, bro. You should be on here advocating for no snitches.
I mean, me personally, I don't care. I don't care either way. I'm not one of them niggas. You will never see me advocate for. I don't give a fuck about none of that mentality. Y'all niggas can keep. I don't care.
Hey, JP, he'll tell on you if he get in a pinch. He just told you.
He just didn't go.
He gonna tell on you.
Go to the right proper channels, man. That's all it is.
I'm not going to be in a pinch with JP. JP wants to.
He gonna tell on you. It means he gonna tell on you. He just told you. Yeah. Don't do no crimes. He said, snitch who? Where?
Anyway. Don't do no crimes around me.
If you do it by yourself, you don't have to worry about that.
Right, exactly. People playing.
But I mean, but all jokes aside, I mean,
So, my bad. I don't know if you're about to say something, but I want to ask if you guys were Trayon and they posed to you that you had to do 15 years or start singing like you in the voice audition, what would you do?
I'd be like, who you want? Henderson, Ariel, who you want?
I'll take my time.
I'll
go to trial on that one.
I'll give you Middleton right now. Who you want? It's like, nah. I don't think Trayon was the big fish that they wanted. Trayon's he's not gonna tell anybody. The story's already too big. I don't think that he's gonna do any. If he does get any time, I think it'll be very minimal. I think he'll get a shitload of probation. I think he'll be fine.
If jail time, maybe 6 months to a year, if anything, for jail time.
He's gonna do about 4 or 5 years. They making an example out of
Damn
him.
it. Why are you reading my mind? I'm trying to give him some hope. God damn.
Kirk, hold on. We got Kirk Keyz in the building, y'all. Kirk, hit that link, Kirk.
He's gonna do about 4 or 5, man.
I was thinking about 4 or 5, really. Yeah, myself, and give him probation for like 10 or something, like 10 or 11. But
he's gonna give him like 4 or 5 years. I don't think 4 or 5 years for. I mean, come on, bro.
And he going to the federal.
Did you see what they did to Kwame Kilpatrick out in Detroit? So when you deal with a black politician, they're gonna give him the time. If he was a white politician, he could skate with probation. Black people,
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
that's not what we talk about.
He's gonna get cooked.
He's gonna get some time, bro. You gotta keep it a buck.
Damn, man. Yeah, I hate to see that, bro. I hate to see that.
I got a post in my yard, Mo. God damn.
Did y'all want to go through the paperwork to see what they actually trying to charge him with, or
yeah, shit. Yeah, might as well. Shit,
nigga. We saw the video and the pictures of him taking the envelope with what is his bride and a nigga snitch. What else we need to know? he had the camera set up perfectly. He had a lapel. He had one of them James Bond like lapel cameras. That shit was clear as a motherfucker. Ain't nothing.
The pictures are so clear, bro. You can see Trayon's text messages from the reflection of the window in the car,
bro. 4K.
That shit in 4K.
He look at it and had 3D. He be that shit, bro.
Nah, that shit in 4K, bro.
But you know they got another nigga too.
Oh, who?
They got hold on. My sister just sent me this shit earlier. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. They got nah, bro. They just got
black dude.
Black ANC commissioner. They got Clayton Rosenberg. 31-year-old Clayton Rosenberg, a Ward 8 Navy Yard, DC ANC commissioner, has been sentenced to more than 5 years in prison for wire fraud. That nigga was stealing PPP shit. He stole like $1 million of PPP.
What ward was he? 8?
Yeah.
Damn, that's my ward. God damn.
But Navy Yard though.
That nigga Clayton, if you get a milli, he supposed to be in Colombia or somewhere by now.
You should have bounced, bro.
He should have got the fuck out of there.
Right. Where you wiring fraud and not going to? Like, get the fuck out of there, man. You dumb motherfucker.
Well, I mean, they call it wire fraud because you lied to get the PPP and the bank wired you the money. So they're gonna get you with wire fraud every time.
Yeah, right. Niggas is fucking around with that shit, bro. It's like niggas is hitting me like, hey man, put 6-7 employees on your business. I was like, you know that shit going on.
I was definitely
I'm like, nigga, you don't even got a real business. How you claim you got like 9 people?
It's tight, buddy.
I'm like, I can't get no more than $10,000, bro. It's just me. I'm gonna get $1 million.
Right. I'm still trying to figure out how niggas was getting $1 million. PPP, like they only gave me like 10, like 11 grand. Some crazy.
You wasn't lying on your application that you had 50 niggas on payroll.
I'm just saying, how did you prove that you got all them niggas on payroll?
Right.
Nah, they was at that first go around. They was just cutting the checks, nigga.
I wish I'd have known.
They was good. Nah, bro, you be in some shit right now.
You know,
not to say, Meezy, you don't have an extensive, business, conglomerate over there, but if you didn't, you'd be fucked over right now.
God damn. Damn, Trayon. Hey, if he get out and run for mayor, I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote for his ass. Hey, Marion Barry, nigga.
That's what's gonna happen.
2045.
He could most definitely get elected back in Ward 8.
Trayon need to call it quits, start a YouTube page, and just get popping. That nigga super chats will be off the chain.
Yeah.
he ain't gonna enjoy me because he going in. So
I don't know, man. I feel like, man, what they gonna get out of throwing that little nigga in jail, man?
An example,
bro. Black people don't get probation like that, bro.
That's
They
not
put
true.
us in jail.
He gonna talk.
I know plenty of niggas that got probation.
Not from the feds.
He just gonna have to. I mean, Trayon gonna have to cooperate, man.
nah.
With himself,
Tight,
the nigga who's giving him the money was the informant. He can't cooperate against himself. He was the big fish.
Yeah.
He was the fish. What you gonna say? My suit tailor told me to put that fucking envelope in my pocket. It was all a conspiracy. It's him, bro. What the fuck?
That bitch set me up.
That's hilarious, man. Can y'all see the screen?
Yeah, we see it.
Some shit real quick. All right, so I've skipped. I have his paperwork right here. I want to go to bribe number 1, June 26, 2024.
Damn, that reason?
Yeah, on June 26, 2024, CHS1, which is I think that's just means cooperative something. That basically that's the confidential informant. CHS1 and White met in CH1's car, which was parked outside the apartment building where White was living in Washington, D.C. Real nice apartment. He don't even live in Ward 8. That's crazy, right?
Damn. That nigga was over in 7. I think he was at the point.
He's on that real nice joint in Navy Yard.
Yeah, he's in Navy Yard. And that's what I'm saying, folks. If you had a decent, honest job, what would make you snap back and say, hey, man, make sure that's 10? Like, why are you snapping back?
I mean, on this particular bribe, it says that he accepted a $15,000 bribe for providing this and similar assistance to CHS1. And White and CH1 agreed to meet again in furtherance of the hereby scheme. Here's a picture from
Wow.
Damn, man. Shit. Come on, Trayon, bruh.
Hood mentality, huh?
2 hands on, man.
I mean, they got like, bro, I'll send you guys the link if you guys want to look. Like, this is crazy, bro.
Even got the suit he got on. God damn.
Yeah, look, here's bribe number 2. Bribe number 2, July 17th, 2024.
Nigga, bruh.
Yeah, them birds out there.
He ain't even wait a whole month.
Bro, they got him. They got him, bro. Well, I don't know. These just pictures. I mean, hey, maybe it's nothing to the picture. Oh, damn. Wait a minute. What's this?
I'm about to say they got the ledger.
They got the ledger?
You're cooked.
Nah, son. When they got the FBI, niggas, the FBI is super thorough.
They got the ledger, bro.
Ledger. That's all they needed right there. Really.
But he probably thinking, nigga, I'm just a Ward 8 council member. I ain't the FBI.
Well, nigga,
and we don't know who the CI is. The CI is probably somebody you super trust. And we gonna keep
money.
Huh?
The nigga handed the nigga bribing him.
Yeah, he probably super trust the nigga.
But I feel like the nigga been bribing him. You know what I mean? But
he just got caught.
Once the FBI, okay, yeah, we know you've been bribing Trayon. Look, if you want to get away with this, with the other shit you got going on, you might want to, Yeah,
because if a nigga got $1 million off the PPP, giving him 15,000 ain't nothing.
Right.
Nah, he told him he was gonna get. It was $156,000 total.
Yeah,
that was the tip off for me.
I mean,
that was the increments though. Right?
Trayon wanted 3% of the contract, which like Trayon he should have known. You got to do it better. Trayon, you got to get a shell company or something that can contract. So that's how you get paid.
Yeah, or we don't. Our campaign finance laws are some bullshit. He could have just got a campaign donation.
No, but he's already in trouble for campaign finance laws. It's $80,000 missing.
Well, I ain't saying him spending the money. I'm talking about getting the money. He could have got a campaign contribution for that same 15,000.
Facts. I mean, but I mean, you know,
he's fucked. I don't know why are you even trying to give him excuse? He's fucked.
I don't know. I don't know why I mean, you got to just be smarter. Like, okay, how's this guy? You getting a contract from the District of Columbia to provide services. How are you going to explain $156,000 in cash just gone?
Right. Hey,
like,
man, these contracts be stupid. Like, it's so Trey. Let's reset the narrative, right? Trayon has not done anything that thousands of politicians have done, but he should have understand where he is and his position and what bullseye he had on him because of his positions, that he can't move sloppily. It's 1,000 politicians around this country that is doing the exact same thing that Trayon is doing. Black, white, Asian, whatever. But he needs to be smarter because of where he is, what position he takes, and how he antagonizes certain parts of our communities.
Until he gets what he wants.
He's got to be smarter. He got to be smarter than that.
I mean, he's committing like 1940s type political crime.
Nah, but this is the thing. It's niggas taking, it's council people taking bags like that across the country, and motherfucker on a weekly basis. So it ain't like he doing some super outlying wild shit.
I would just say outdated. Like
they doing some digital shit.
There's plenty of ways we can all protect ourselves from anything if we just set ourselves up properly. And
the Democrat Bama, Menendez, he just got caught up from taking the bread from Russia. He had mad cash in the house. He had cash, gold bricks. My nigga had everything. He had everything in the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Kirk says, who said it came from the contract? Good point. But I mean, it's supposed to come from the contract because the deal was he gets 3% of the contract. So I'm like, but if you handed me cash, nigga, just give me all the cash up front. Why we playing these games?
Why don't you just give it to somebody you know? It's not affiliated with nothing. Hey, just put it in his account. Hey, I mean, there's ways you can do this shit. Man.
I'm gonna be 100% sure. I don't think there's nothing wrong with favoring a nigga that donate money to you. that's the way the game go. But you can't. You just can't. No, it's not illegal. Campaign finance laws in America.
This wasn't about a campaign, though, bro. This was
no. What I'm saying, people donate.
Hold on. He agreed to press the issue to get this man government contracts for 3% of the government contract, and you are a government official. That's definitely illegal, bro.
No. So what I'm saying is, if let's say that man say, hey, this is what I want to get accomplished. I'm going to donate to your campaign for favor. That's the American
donate to my charity.
That's the American political system, right? That's how it works. What I'm saying is, he
probably don't even got no charity,
huh?
Probably don't even got no charity.
I don't know.
Crazy.
Right.
Like you would think that'd be the first nigga with a foundation.
Yeah, let me set up a charity.
He ain't do shit.
If I was Trayon White, oh my God, man. Like I said, I don't knock him for the way he do his job. Like if I was in Warden, I'd be doing the same bullshit.
Man, if I was him, I'd be out the country right now. Fuck all that.
If I was him, I show up at all the shootings like he do. I hand out turkeys like I'm Nino Brown, whatever. You know, that's what niggas want you to do. Right. Hand out turkeys and come to shooting scenes. And point your finger at the invisible man when it's really our fault for shooting each other. But that's a whole number.
Hey, you're right. No bullshit.
But that's what he do.
But once again, none of y'all don't know no policy or legislation.
I've already given you one. We've already been down. We've already been down that road.
No, you didn't. You had one in that one in maybe one.
That was the only one I really needed to say.
So that's the only. So he's been in office since 2016. But
I mean, look, I'll give him credit. Okay, I'll give him credit. He's done some things, like he was instrumental in getting the new hospital built. It's not finished yet, but there's a new trauma center coming in Ward 8. He was instrumental in that. Yeah, he was instrumental in getting that space. What do you call it? Sycamore. He was instrumental in that.
Sycamore and Oak.
But I mean, but here's my thing, and I'm not mad at him for doing those things, but I wouldn't consider those huge wins for Ward 8. Those things only benefit certain people. The school,
the hospital only benefits certain people.
Hold on, not the hospital, right? Not the hospital. But I'm talking about like the Sycamore shit, and I'm in the school lunch shit and feeding kids, bro. At the end of the
So
day,
you don't care about kids. You don't care about niggas that's sick. You don't care about niggas have economic opportunity. You can poo poo anything, then.
Hold on, but these things are just a band-aid to a larger problem that is not really getting fixed.
So you want them to enact some speed dating so there could be more relationships and marriages in Ward 8. That's what you would like?
No, I'm not telling you that I want him to do anything. I'm just saying that it's nothing you can do. I never said it was anything.
You just said the biggest problem was broken homes. So does he need to create a church? Does he need to do speed dating? How can Trayon White fix? If you were Trayon White, how can you fix the broken homes?
But he was fighting. He was pushing for affordable housing.
Fuck that. Here's one way you can do it. Provide.
He was pushing blacks to bed.
No, give them a vocational training.
Hold on.
No.
He said affordable housing is pushing people to beg.
It is. I agree. I can't stand affordable housing.
Affordable housing is based upon your income.
I think
begging.
Affordable housing should be for retarded people. Affordable housing should be for retarded people and senior citizens.
But that doesn't square with the actual economics on the ground. That doesn't make it sounds good, but that doesn't make like economic sense.
Affordable housing. Okay, first of all, when you say affordable housing, we're not saying houses shouldn't be affordable. That's not the
different things.
When you say,
but that actually is the argument because
hold on, though. Let me finish.
Housing insecurity.
You're not letting me complete my thought.
Go ahead.
When people talk about affordable housing, especially in politics, they're talking about putting up more subsidy-based housing based on people who are on welfare, Section 8. That's
so. Do you know that for a fact? Or are you just saying that?
Well, for instance, I'll tell you what's not working out. Muriel Bowser instituted this policy in DC where 20% of the occupants of every new building
has to be affordable housing. Yeah,
put up in DC. 20% of your occupants have to be Section 8. Now, how is this fair to me? Right? I've worked hard to the point where I'm paying 3, 4, 5, even in some instances 6, 7, 8 grand a month to live, but a nigga who was irresponsible with their genitals and created a bunch of kids they can't afford gets to live down the hall for me for $58 a month
or less.
How the hell is that fair? No, you chose your life. Take your motherfucking ass to the projects.
See, so that policy was a crap.
So hold on.
Or go get 4 jobs so you can afford to live here. Either way.
That doesn't make.
Hold up, I didn't finish my point.
All right, go ahead.
But the bottom line, so you have all these buildings with 20% Section 8, blah 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 blah. If you look,
it's not Section 8. It's affordable housing.
I'm not
I
finished
just want to
talking.
correct you. That's so all of it's not Section 8. So you got IZ units, and you have Section 8. Section 8 is less than 2% of the buildings.
Okay, so anyways.
We just getting facts clear.
I mean, I live in a building like that. My in-laws live in a building like that right now.
I just lived in the building like that.
What I'm telling you,
it was trash.
What I'm telling you is,
no, JP, you didn't live there. Relax.
So if you look at the crime trends over the past 5 years since this shit started, crime on Wisconsin Avenue and Connecticut Avenue has spiked now. Like, it's crazy.
Because I'm low income.
Like, what I'm saying is, we're putting Band-Aids on the situation is all DC politicians do. That's all they've ever done.
So I agree. I agree that's a bad situation.
I'm not mad at
hold on. I agree that's a bad. I agree that's a bad situation, but what we fail to talk about is how did we get here? We didn't get here by quote unquote like
I never
conservative,
finished.
like it's
I told you I
democratic
would finish.
policies, the welfare they got. That's not how we got here. We got there through rapid gentrification.
No, that's not true.
Extreme rapid gentrification of
Not
DC.
true. That's not true. And even gentrification, you can blame gentrification on niggas. You sold your house.
You just wasn't involved in
No, gentrification is an economic policy. So
When
every black person didn't just
people was
decide
going
to
those
up and sell a house.
Niggas wasn't
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I like gentrification. Gentrify the whole motherfucker.
So this is the thing. I like certain aspects of gentrification too, but I'm also real enough to know what consequences come with gentrification. So I don't like the people who be like, oh, I like gentrification. I like I like people to be like, oh, I like displacing people for my comfort in my game where I have grocery stores and Whole Foods and I live in Union Market. I enjoy how Union Market was gentrified, but I also understand there are consequences to me displacing these people. I'm not from Northeast.
What are the consequences? Better standard of living?
So if you rapidly gentrify a population, you bring food to the wolves. It's not sustainable. They say gentrification is a term because it's not a positive thing. You ever heard somebody describe, man, we had positive rapid gentrification.
Well,
gentrification is an actual term because it has a negative effect on the population that's there. It's just black people aren't the only people in history. Black people aren't the only people in history that have been gentrified.
That's perspective.
No, that's a fact. Black people aren't the only people.
Not that.
Gentrification. What does gentrification mean?
I understand what you're talking about. Hold on, but what I'm saying is
the definition of gentrification.
Well, we don't have to go down this rabbit hole. We all know what it means.
So that's the thing be blowing me. Every time we just start talking about the actual nuances of what we talk about, it's a rabbit hole. No, it's not. If we're talking about gentrification, what's the definition of gentrification? That's not a rabbit hole.
Definition of gentrification.
No.
The process whereby the character of a poor urban area is changed by wealthier people moving in, improving housing and attracting new businesses, typically displacing current inhabitants in the process.
Yeah.
That's the definition.
And what Trayvon White was doing, he was working to protect low-income families from being priced out of their home.
Well, instead of protecting, he should have been trying to making them improve their own life.
He was giving them a crutch.
Being gentrified.
He was giving them a crutch, giving them a way to beg and blame.
If your area is being gentrified, you can either move or you can stay there and participate in what's happening in the gentrification. You have two options.
So if your neighborhood is rapidly gentrified, right? Everything around you goes sky high,
but you don't have.
If you don't have the economic opportunity to participate in that, i.e., I'm under no illusion. Hold on, I'm under no illusion. If I was paying $3,500 for an apartment in Union Market, I know what niggas make around Union Market. Just not me, and it's not niggas just gentrifying the neighborhood. So if a nigga see me as food, I gotta understand, keep my head on the swivel that a nigga see me as food. Cause I'm gentrifying their fucking neighborhood. I'm high siding, I'm coming here balling, I'm coming to your shit. We building, we tearing down what was there before to be in your neighborhood. I understand the this is the difference. I understand the consequences of gentrification. Whether I participate in it or not.
Okay, but here's the thing though, Cohen. Okay, yeah, you might be seen as food in your newly gentrified neighborhood, but think about when the motherfucker wasn't gentrified.
You still out the house.
You still be food. Matter of fact, it'd be a higher probability that the food would.
Nah, but this the thing. This is the thing. It's like, why can't you just? Why can't public? It's very hard for
Come on,
public,
come on, bro. Just stop.
public opinion or people's rugged individuality.
Oh my God, hold up. Stop.
Why that pull yourself up by your bootstrap shit?
Oh,
That shit don't work if it's a whole economic. So if I work at the grocery store, right, and I was able to afford
oh
my
my
apartment,
God, bro.
if I work at Giant, right, I could afford my apartment. I've been there for 10 years, and 10 years later, they've built luxury apartments and condos around where I've always been, and all of a sudden, this job that has always paid my bills, always taking care of my family, can no longer do so.
We'll get another job.
Means you learn from the history, and what you do, you get involved in your community and figure out what's the plans for the future. Because I know they have them. They got them little meetings and shit. You go to it and they discuss the changes in the community.
There's consequences. There are consequences and repercussions for complacency, bro.
And it's like you
hold on.
It's not like you don't see gentrification happening. You see
complaints. So hold on. So that means what we were raised on.
That's the problem.
That paradigm is thrown on its head because the baby boomers raised us, right? The baby boomers were able to either go to college, get a trade, get one job. They could work at the grocery store. They worked at the gas station. They worked at they worked their little job, whatever job they had. They would be able to take care of their family. And that's the values they instilled in us. But all of a sudden, you got to work 2 jobs. You got to work 2.5 jobs. You got to have a side hustle. You got to sell drugs. You got to sell pussy. Like, to be able to really afford what you're doing unless you have some advanced skill.
Bro,
everybody in society is not going to be to the point that have an advanced skill. That's just
you got
not
a brain. You can
what
go
it
out and get
is.
an advanced
That's
skill.
not like
You
I
got no
have an
excuse in
advanced.
this
I
country, man.
have an advanced skill that lets me know I can afford a $3,500 apartment. I don't expect the average person to have that. That's not real.
Someone can earn $3,500 or more. What are you talking about?
I'd like to answer the question.
You got no excuse, man.
You built yourself so that you don't have to live like the average person. So you shouldn't expect the average person to do that because you're not doing average things.
Right. So, but that's the thing. We come. This is the thing. We should not live in a country where you have to be the super nigga, the super entrepreneur. Like
yes,
me,
Tripp,
me and you, bro. We do shit that's bro. We have a party in a whole nother country, and we don't think twice about it. We do business in multiple countries. That's not normal.
Okay,
like a nigga should not have to be like. And this what fucks niggas up.
Everybody,
this what fucks niggas up. I'm not a poor nigga advocating for poor people. I'm not a non-working nigga advocating for non-working niggas. I work hard as shit to build my brand, to build my business. I would be the definition of pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
What's the problem?
But I also recognize that a nigga should not have to be a super nigga, he should be able to wake up and go to a regular job and have a good life. He should not have to be exceptional just to live a decent life because nobody else has to do that in this country.
That's a mindset thing, and how do we mindset when living beyond our means?
So now we're flirting with communism, and I'm not fucking with that.
I was going to say that. I was going to say socialism, but I didn't want to go there though.
Capitalism has laws.
Hold on. I said job and work. And
Bro,
I referenced the previous. No, because y'all throw that label around very loosely. Let me clarify. I said job and work, previous generation, what they made, what they worked, versus what we have to do and work to attain the same things. We're the first generation in America that's doing worse than our parents.
Okay.
Because we're living beyond our
No,
means.
we're not living beyond our means. Everything just costs more. We got the same job. We're in the same place. We're doing the same things. You're talking out of your fucking ass. We're doing the same things. Everything just costs more. Housing costs more. Food costs more. Everything costs more.
Okay.
We're not doing anything. I'm not doing nothing different than my dad did. I'm not doing nothing that, like y'all probably not doing nothing that your parents did. We have jobs, we work hard, we try and raise our
Well,
family.
there are
But we
exceptions.
are the first generation that is doing worse than our parents. What do you mean we're living beyond our means?
That's not true. See, here's the thing.
How we don't see
it. That's not true. Now, hold on. I can definitely there's some middle ground there when it comes to inflation. Yes, inflation is out of control. So there are definitely certain aspects of life that are not the same as when we were kids. For sure, I won't argue with you on that. However, you can still survive and get what you have to get done if you adapt appropriately. Okay, so if you have a house in Union Market, and Union Market, their property values have gone sky high, whatever, and you can't afford to live there anymore. Okay, so what do? You do what most people in DC had to do when they realized they couldn't afford DC anymore. They took their ass to PG County, or now they take their ass to Waldorf. It is what it is.
Or find a job that you can.
But we only have ourselves to blame because we kept voting in the same motherfuckers year after year who let this shit happen. We voted in Anthony Williams, we voted in Adrian Fenty, and we voted in Muriel Bowser.
So who's the other nigga that wasn't gonna let it happen?
The only person that I would say really gave a fuck about the black residents of DC was Marion Barry.
Yeah. So after Barry, who was because this is the thing, we just can't throw those statements out there. But like, you voted, who is the other nigga that wasn't going to do that?
Who? Everybody else let it
You
happen.
tell me who. He just said, yo, who was the alternative that was like, yeah, if you would have voted for Sean Stevenson, you wouldn't have experienced gentrification.
So here's the thing. That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point is, in DC, as black residents of DC, we made ourselves a strictly Democrat city. That's what we do, no exceptions. You get what you pay for, bro.
Okay, let's be more specific. Who was the Republican that was going to save black people's homes?
Nobody. A Republican wouldn't. A Republican with a real career wouldn't touch DC because it's too Democrat. Why would they come here?
So what the fuck are you talking about?
No point. What you mean? What am I talking about? The reason
you just set up a false dichotomy. You just said, well, if y'all voted Democrat, so you got what you wanted. Who was the Republican that was saying, hey, black people, I'm gonna help you pay your taxes. I'm gonna slow down gentrification. I'm gonna keep you in your homes that we could have voted for?
Carol Schwartz.
Who was that guy?
Carol Schwartz. She used to run every year. Carol Schwartz.
Fuck out of here.
Look, she was at least married to a black man.
Fuck out of here.
But she was a Republican candidate that ran every year, and nobody gave her a shot.
Fuck out of here.
Okay, fuck out of here. But look at you now. Now you whining because you can't afford shit.
Fuck out of here, bro.
Okay, all right. Okay, you got Fenty, you got Bowser, you got all these people that you wanted. You can't afford anything. Gentrification is on overdrive.
Yeah, we're paying for a light world that we don't.
What you gonna do now?
So while you laughing at the Republican lady that kept trying to run and trying to tell you that this is what these people were doing,
nigga, you can't name one Carol Schwartz policy. Cut that shit out.
Yes, I did. You didn't even
cut that shit the fuck out.
You didn't even think I could name Carol Schwartz.
That's fine.
You really don't know what I can name.
All right, tell me one Carol Schwartz policy that would help black people.
No niggas in Georgetown. Get out of here, bro.
You get the fuck out of here. That's what you get for voting Democrat.
But no, that's what you get.
Out of here, dog.
I won't retract that. The Carol Schwartz policy was a joke. I have no idea what her policies were.
She probably would have had that. She probably would have had gentrification popping way earlier.
But all I'm saying though is, man, I mean, what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, we voted these people in.
The greatest politician. The greatest politician in DC history was Marion Barry. He was a Democrat, flat out.
But people, so he was kind of Republican, really.
I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, I like Marion Barry. I've met him several times. I think he's a great guy. But at the same time, I don't I think Marion Barry kind of aided and abetting in crippling black people too. I don't think he did it on purpose, or he knew he was doing it, but some of his policies definitely have crippled the black community for sure.
So one thing about a good politician, he knows his base. So Marion Barry always served his base. Good, bad, or indifferent, I can agree that some policies coddle people in on the southeast side. I can agree with that. But for what he did for the middle class in DC, we all benefiting from
But
right
think
now.
about it though. What he did for the middle class in DC benefited Prince George's County.
Yeah,
No, I'm talking about opening up. I'm talking about opening up DC and federal government to black people. That's what I'm talking about. That almost 1 out of 4 to 5 families have been touched by him instituting that policy and the jobs program.
For sure.
Right, 1 out of 3 program. 1 out of 3 families have been touched by that. That's a unrefutable. Jersey in the rafters, Hall of Fame legacy. That part can't be.
For sure. You'll never hear me shit on Marion Barry.
Yeah.
You'll never hear that. You'll never hear
that shit can't be touched.
You'll never hear me shit on Marion Barry. I'm just saying, like I said, he's still a politician at the end of the day.
Yeah, and he had corporate interests because you know what I'm saying, nigga was a capitalist. If you a capitalist in any of these positions, you're gonna have some corporate interests.
I wouldn't even say Barry was too big on the corporate interest. I think Barry had a heart, and I think a lot of the choices he made was because of his heart. But I think some of those choices are crippling.
Like he was on some real civil rights shit. He was with SNCC and Martin Luther King and all that shit, bro. He was really about that shit.
You know, I'm anti-SNCC and damn near anti-King, but I like Barry.
Yeah, that nigga was really about that shit.
So if you look up who made SNCC, it wasn't a nigga.
If I look at who championed it, was Kwame Ture.
Yeah, but look who financed him.
So, niggas ain't got no money. It's always somebody else that's gonna finance the nigga shit.
Have you ever heard of Saul Alinsky?
I know the whole backstory.
All right, I'm just saying then.
I just know. So look,
the same people.
I'll give you a prime example.
The same people who blame the rap game for are the same people who funded civil rights.
The best fucking work I've ever done in my life in terms of community work, mentoring, really where I know I made an impact in a kid's life, it was funded by the Catholic Charities.
That's different.
It ain't.
I'll rock with the Catholic Charities before.
It's blood money. All of it's blood money, cuz.
Okay. What money ain't blood money?
That's what I'm saying. When you brought that up, I was like, cool. If you look at a lot of positive things, like I was like, oh shit, I gotta flip this blood money and like help my community. But I knew it was like it's Catholic Charities, but I did my best work with Catholic Charities money.
But you know what? The Catholic Charities actually promote positive things for black people.
No, they don't.
You know what? I ain't trying to make it about this today because last time I talked about this, I almost got demonetized. So I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Don't do that.
I'm gonna leave it alone. Let's get back to Trayon White, DC politics. Or you know what? I tell you what, let's shift gears a little bit. Because me and Mezzy, I'm not sure how you still feel about it, but let's get to the Billy Carson clip. That'll be interesting.
Cosby, Jesus the alien?
Yeah, well, you know about Billy Carson?
Part of it.
Yeah, Billy Carson.
He's a grifter, but he cool though.
He's insane in my opinion. But let's get to this clip.
He's a motherfucking grifter.
Okay, let's go. All right. Something went wrong with the page. What's going on?
1 second.
You added a restriction to your account. You can't start or join live. What? Telling you, man.
What you telling us, man?
Thank you. All I want to do is just log into my Instagram account. They take this off the screen real quick. Hold on. Oh, y'all can't see that shit anyway. All right. This is crazy, man. Oh my God. All right, here we go. Can't get into Instagram. Oh my God. Come on, bro. All right, I got it up, y'all. Here we go. Instagram is really on some bullshit, bro. All right, y'all there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right, get this Billy Carson clip.
God.
I know God. I know.
Hey, everybody.
There we go.
Do you believe you are God?
I know that I'm a God. I know because I'm going to tell you right now, it's because of science. The universe, people call it God. It's conscious. It's a conscious mind. And that mind wants to collect information about what it's like to be in the third dimension. So what does it do? It uses its friends. Who are its friends? Me, you, and everyone else on the entire planet, everyone else in the entire universe. We are actually a piece or a extension of God, experiencing life subjectively with the illusion of individuality, the illusion of separation, having a unique experience and transmitting that information through consciousness back to the source so that God can understand what it's like to experience life subjectively throughout the entire known universe, as Billy, as 19 Keyz, as Mike Rashid, as Dr. B. Serious, and everyone else. Because of that, I believe that we are a fractal of God literally walking in the flesh.
Okay.
So
go ahead. I'm gonna let you go, man. I mean, you heard what I had to say about this earlier, so I'll let you go first.
Okay, so two things, right? So if you believe in, most people have a Christian mentality. So if you believe in like God as being omnipresent, omniscient, that's what he's saying. But you got to understand the science of what he's saying versus the belief of what other cultures have been saying, that this and its entity or whatever God, whatever they want to call it, is everywhere. That's what he's saying, and we are just aspects of that entity. So that's one thing, right? So another way to look at it, right, is your brain, right? It's completely enclosed in your head, right? Complete darkness. The only way it can get information is through your other senses, right? So that's another way of what he's saying. That's the only way this consciousness is gathering information from all different aspects, is through the other senses. We are these other senses gathering information for this consciousness, our brain. If that kind of makes sense to you.
I mean, sure, but at the end of the day, after we obtain this information, what are we supposed to do with it?
But you miss what you miss. See, that's the part you have to understand what he's saying. We're just the fingers and eyes and ears of what this consciousness is. Got to get whatever this consciousness wants the information for. We are just the utensils it's using to gather what information that it wants, right? So in your brain, you want to go, I don't know, you want to touch a fucking table, right? You have to use your other senses to know that there's a table, to look to see what you're touching and feeling.
I get what you're saying.
So your other senses don't know shit.
He could be correct, but I get what you're saying. He could be correct. I'm not even saying that his theory is flawed, right? Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, what? Who cares? Like, that's like explaining how a tree grows. All right, nigga, that's how trees grow. What's what are we gonna do with this tree to benefit ourselves?
That's just something to boost your ego.
Well, it's not. Well, it's kind of like, it's kind of almost like knowing why you're here. You know what I mean? Like everything's an experience for you. So for instance, like you have good, bad, hot, cold, black, white, and all this shit. It makes sense because we're on this plane gathering information for this thing. So we're all here to have an experience to gather, quote unquote, gather information for the higher consciousness. That's what he's saying. That's our experience. That's why we're having life. You know what I mean? That's the only way it can experience this 3D plane is to have life. For us to experience this life.
But right, and you know what? Okay, he could be right, but it does nothing for me as one of the billions of people, and that's just people, because clearly the other organisms, based on his theory, the other organisms in the universe are also God, because grasshoppers are, I guess, experiencing
exactly.
Grasshoppers.
Exactly. Every organic and inorganic material
that does nothing for me, and it does nothing for me.
Well, you're thinking about it on a physical level, but on a spiritual level, it makes you think that we're all the same. We're all one. We're all. It's kind of. I don't know. You got to build your spirituality to understand that we're all connected somehow. Doesn't matter what you're.
A lion in the wild, right? A lion in the wild is going to kill another fucking lion in the wild if they get too close to his territory.
But see, you're like I said, you're thinking of it as good. You're thinking of it as a good or bad thing, or something it has to do. It's an experience that's happening. It's not necessarily.
I think his theory is actually flawed, though, right? Because if you believe in God, you believe in an omnipresent God. That means that God doesn't need to use you as an instrument to understand anything, because he created everything and he set everything in motion to play or interact or do whatever it was supposed to do, right? I think Billy Carson is a grifter that mixes some astrological, historical, anthropological facts together with, like,
here's your problem,
pseudo space science.
Here's the problem
to just get undereducated people involved, right? We all know, if you believe in science, he talks about science a whole lot, right? So energy is not dissipated, it just changes form. So if he believes energy changes forms, like we change energy forms in different vessels, and when that energy hits that vessel figures out how the best way to manipulate that energy at that time and how to exist.
Talk yourself into a hole. I just love,
how energy finds a way to exist.
Yeah, keep going.
Not necessarily we are trying to express something to a higher being that created us. To me, that wouldn't make sense, because if the God is omnipresent and he created everything, what the fuck does he need to learn from me? Right?
So before you go on your rant, here's one thing I think you might want to take into consideration, that basically all of our knowledge comes from ancient knowledge. That's number one. Your book, your religion, whatever you can think of comes from ancient knowledge first. So you need to understand that part first. Whatever you're saying is, so everything you just said makes it null and void.
My premise does not. I just want to address that. My premise does not discount any ancient knowledge.
The second thing is that what I stated before is that you're looking at from, like I said, most people are looking from a religious standpoint, and he's looking at from a scientific standpoint, right?
But he said God. God is an interpretation
of religion. It's local colloquialism that we can understand. Like, if I say Egypt, we both know we're talking about a portion of Africa that's the northeastern part of Africa, right? If I say Kemet, most people don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? So if he's saying God, you got to understand he's trying to meet everybody on a certain level that we can all understand what he's talking about.
God is a specific, more so a religious reference, because people who don't believe in God don't say God. They say energy, they say universe, they say they have a very specific set of terms that they use. They say energy, universe, manifest. They use these terms, and which I've heard Billy Carson use on a regular basis. So he knows the difference between God, universe, and manifest. He knows the difference. Yeah, an atheist does not say God. They say universe, manifest.
I'll say this, man. Before we go down this rabbit hole, and I know that's been the theme of the night, right? I don't understand the point of the conversation. Like, the name of the show is called High Level Conversations, and it's like,
Go ahead and welcome me into the room so I can tell you the point, please.
Hold on. Okay, yeah. And, you know, I meant to. Keyz is in the building. Jesus. All right, Kirk Keyz is in the building. But real quick, before we get to you, Kirk, I just really I don't understand how a group of people, when I'm talking about black people, because those are the majority of the people who comment on 19 Keyz' page and who you'll see commentating there. I don't understand how we could consider this high-level conversations when he's not talking about anything that solve immediate problems. You know what I mean? Like, there are immediate problems. Like, I feel like once you get your immediate problem solved, then you can sit back, smoke weed, and fucking talk about how the universe is designed.
But you
like right now, we need to. There's bigger fish to fry.
So
Even though
why do people pray? Why do people pray?
Why do people pray? And then on top of that, why do they say amen at the end of their prayers?
Exactly. Why? For what reason?
Guys, listen to me.
I mean,
I understand where you're going. I'm just saying it doesn't matter.
Right.
But all of
it does matter because people of all cultures, age, religions, ages in history have always sought out what the meaning of life is. So if you don't understand your place in the world or universe or whatever, your religion,
you're lost.
You don't live life the same way. So people are always gonna pontificate these topics because they want to know what the meaning of life is.
When you say most of his audience is black, right? When you say God to black people, it just hits them differently.
Yeah, I mean, you should see the comments. Like, there's niggas in there talking about, yeah, he's right. The black man is God. Blah, blah. I'm like, Jesus. Like, what are you niggas talking about?
I mean, we're all like you said, we're all different aspects of that.
At the end of the day,
whatever you want to call it, we're all different aspects of. Like the grasshopper is the same. It's a different aspect of God. Whether you want to believe it or not, it is.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's not true. I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm not even arguing with that.
You'll move through life a little bit different, knowing that you have to take care of what you do from that point forward. Once you know that you're all connected to one thing.
I guess my problem is I don't like people who take advantage of the public and get them concentrated on things that are not going to be of any benefit to them.
You can't say that. You don't. It's like saying religion is not. Even though I'm not a religious person, religion does benefit some people.
But I'll say this though. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why religion benefits people, and I'm not even a religious person. But I'll tell you why it benefits people because it instills morals, values, and traditions in people.
Structure.
Right. I agree.
All right. So Pete, once you get the morals, values, and traditions instilled in people, then there's something for them to fight against when the evils of the world, because there are evils in this world and society, because there are anti-human movements, which is why you need human rights movements and civil rights movements to get equal rights for people who are all being fought against. There are energy-sucking individuals in this world who are literally doing that to you every day. And you see that because you can bat against it with your podcast on a regular basis. You just don't consciously on a spiritual level. But it takes a global consciousness of all these people. The atheists who will say universe because universe is still all one. It takes the Christian who is conscious on a Christian and I love Jesus level. It takes the Buddhist. It takes all of these different people because at the end of the day, let's say the moon is the path. The moon is the thing that we're all trying to get to, and the knowledge of life, like Cohen had just said. But whichever way you believe, the path is just the finger pointing to the moon. So as your eyes see, you got an arm and you got a finger, and it's all pointing to the moon. So whatever religion you believe or whatever non-religion you believe, it still all points to the moon because it still all believes the same thing because we are all still collectively one consciousness at the end of the day. But what that consciousness needs to do is wake up and realize that they all need to come together to work together towards something so that it combats the bullshit that is all happening all at once, because there's a lot of bullshit, holistic type shit right now happening in front of your eyes that you're combating. Literally, you are doing every day. But it's also on a spiritual level that everybody has to come conscious to and be aware of so that they actually fight against it. Because most people aren't fighting against it because they aren't conscious to it, because they don't understand their place in it. So they can't connect all the dots and realizations to how we all are here and supposed to do something against this very moment that is happening.
That's why you're
But
here
when
now.
everybody wakes up,
Okay, and I understand what you're saying, Kirk. I'm just saying what they were talking about in that conversation was more so feeding the ego of your average black person that, like, for some way, somehow, because we have black skin, we're just better than everyone else.
We are. Technically, we are.
Yeah, okay, well, so how come that's not translating into real life?
Right, because are the white people involved in this spiritual connection thing?
No, it's more than that. I mean, that's what
Hold on. I would challenge y'all to break down what Tripp just said. Tripp, what did you say? You said we're not benefiting from it. How are we not benefiting?
Because it's an ego booster.
What I'm saying is,
I want to answer it because I feel you cannot answer. I understand exactly what he's saying.
Go ahead, Kirk.
The thing about it is there's a divide and conquer mentality that is intentionally also like feeding off of our energy. We don't know ourselves because we don't know our history because it's intentionally kept away from us. So imagine we're coming out of not 400 years of slavery, but 280, however many years of actual slavery we were in, and not understanding the language and the customs of the people who possessed us. So
I mean, that's a tough one, though, Kirk. That's a tough one because
280 years.
I mean, so okay. Here's my thing,
that's
right?
reality. You ain't even let me finish.
Go ahead. My bad.
That's a tough one. It really is reality. We were captured and enslaved.
I would. Okay. But who captured us? Though? Who captured us? Who captured us?
White niggas with guns.
No, that's not what happened. No, it was niggas with guns and knives.
All right, so Kirk, you can end that right there. So once did they let us go after they captured us?
It don't matter.
Even hold on,
I wasn't
because he's about to throw. Well, black people sold into slavery. All right, so once we got here, did they let us go after we finished
so
working?
you're talking about once we got here as if I said anything. You're doing the whole once we got here thing as if I even said they brought us over here. I'm not saying it like it was like the enslavement shit was they brought us from Africa and we were on slave ships and the whole shit like that. That's not what I just now said. But what I did say was we were enslaved because that is a fact.
And so were the rest of the races as well.
But the thing is, but look at this. Look at the conversation we're having off that one little small clip, though. You're saying that we're not benefiting from it. We're benefiting from literally right now. You're talking right.
I don't think that we are. I mean, we're pontificating about.
True, but he got the conversation going though.
19 Keyz asked this nigga, "Are you a god?" Right. And the nigga said, "Yes, I'm a god." He said, "Yes, I'm a god," and then he explained how meaningless it is to even be a god. Right. If everybody's a goddamn god, it's meaningless.
But you don't.
Nah, it's not meaningless. That means you don't put. That means you don't put stock in imaginary gods when you have the same DNA of everything in the universe: the stars, the rocks, the fucking frog, the tree, whatever. You're made of the same material.
That's the wrong definition of God. You think it's some magical creature that has all omnipotent powers. It's not that type of God, man. That's number one. You're thinking of a different type of God. So when he says God, he means the consciousness,
the global consciousness.
Period.
I would say this. I think Billy Carson, and I follow Billy Carson for a long time.
You do.
Billy Carson is very careful with his words. Mm-hmm. He uses the term consciousness, beings. He uses all these terms very carefully. So if he was speaking about consciousness, I think he would say that.
He was, though. To be fair, he said in the beginning of the clip, he definitely said God or the universe. He said that. He said that.
Okay, so I didn't hear that because he's very specific with his words. I follow Billy Carson for a long time.
But the idea that he's trying to get across is that we are all data. Like all we're doing is collecting data to literally honestly what we're supposed to be doing is to make the world better. But like there's enough resources, natural resources here on the earth to provide for all of us here. But like I said, the energies that are out here sucking from us, doing negative shit, fucking us up, are up here trying to reserve all of the resources for them and use them for monetary gain because money isn't real anyway. You just say all money is blood money because all of that shit is just to take natural resources and make them capital resources, capitalistic resources. That's the whole point of this whole concept. But those same niggas are the people who are out here genocide in Palestine right now, causing world wars because they got to beef with Russia unnecessarily because Russia has to attack Ukraine just to defend itself. Like when you know the consciousness of the wars that like in Congo, to get resources to build all the shit that we just out here using to communicate the way that we are, but we could really be using the same communication to be going against those forces because this global consciousness, when aware of what is going on and aware of how you can actually combat it because you're aware of the rights provided to you on this earth, natural and man laws, then you can actually enact and do something about it. It's not just like we're not all helpless here. We're just helpless when we're all divided. But when we actually unify, you can do something about it. And it'll probably start with us niggas actually taking themselves out of this two-party system and trying to decide which one is better and realizing that neither one of them are giving a fuck because we all know they don't give a fuck about us. But we actually have to start our own party. You actually got to use your leverage and the power that you do have, the resources that you do have, your money. Before we had a right to vote in the 60s, niggas would boycott shit. We pulled our money out to make
I gotta stop you right there, Kirk. We had the right to vote since 1870.
Man, point is, before they made the Civil Rights Act that made niggas realize that they had the right to vote to actually try and make a difference when it doesn't even really make a difference. You know, I don't believe that us getting the right to vote when that shit happened is like it activated anything that made any change either. But the reality is they're fighting against that. Like, I know what we have the right to do, and I know what we don't know that we have the right to do, and that's the whole problem.
I ain't gonna hold you. If voting didn't matter, they wouldn't try to keep us from voting. That's one thing, a very simple conclusion I came to. Now we talk about the presidential level, certain levels of voting, but we talking about district attorney, mayors, aldermen, out local voting. That shit definitely matters. And the reason why they're still trying to gerrymander, the reason they're trying to keep our vote away from us because that still matters. Now, presidential level, I don't think that should matter no more, to be honest, as much. But locally, voting matters for
The
sure.
person who got their hands on the button matters, bro. I'm sorry, it matters.
Yeah, I don't
but that's the thing. While
I'm not saying that
the
like
funny part is, I respect the Republican strategy. While they were like distracting us from the voting about like presidential elections, they was getting all the judges in. They was getting all the governors in. Their ground game for the last 10 years was something to study. I ain't gonna hold you because all the circuit judges, the Supreme Court, they worked that shit.
May the best man win.
They work that shit. So to say voting doesn't matter, or if you hear that side say voting doesn't matter, it's a bullface lie. The way they ran their ground game, it's something to be studied.
I think a lot of times we look at things from the aspect of black people in America, and I think what a lot of black people don't understand right now is that shit doesn't even matter no more. As much as I'll probably get a lot of blowback for that, but I don't care. It doesn't
only because it's inaccurate. You'll get blowback.
It doesn't. You know why it doesn't matter? Because for black people in America to think that this is all about us is ignorant, bro. There are so many things going on the global front right now.
Exactly.
That race barely has anything to do with it at this point. You literally have a group of people who want a global society of slaves against people who want to be left alone to their own countries.
Exactly.
Be nationalized in their own countries and deal with their own affairs. That's what the biggest issue is right now.
But the elephant in the room is, what country has all of the resources that powers the technology?
I don't understand.
I'll ask you again. What country has all of the resources that powers all of the technology that we need to push forward?
Are you talking about China?
Natural resources.
What, Africa?
Yeah, so it automatically
That's a
makes
continent,
it automatically makes it a racial thing. Because if it in a world that made sense,
Not racial. It's
the
this.
Congo would be the richest nation on earth because of their natural resources. All of the African countries will be the richest nations on earth
They would
because
be,
they
but
have
unfortunately,
because they have the resource. But there's a global white supremacist network to
nah,
keep
bro. No.
African. Now, don't cut me off. Let me finish. There's a global white supremacist network to keep these countries poor, war torn, and fighting against each other, so the resources can be exploited.
That's literally what I'm saying about even just this country in itself.
Well, hold on. What Africa's going
It's a small problem. That's a big
Africa,
problem. That's a bigger problem.
Africa did that shit to themselves.
Yeah, who's running the country?
Africa themselves.
I know that's what Republican grifters. That's the talking point. But if we actually get to the history, the strongest African leader that was about self-determination and preserving the resources of Africa was Patrice Lumumba, and the American government let me finish. The American government and the Belgian government conspired to murder him. They murdered him.
Hey, look, man.
So I think hold on, so I can speak from experience because I know about this shit. So the thing is, you're both right. It's both. For instance, is other governments, and you have Africans in the country helping the governments carry it out for whatever reason they want to carry it out. It's both sides. So neither side is clean. To be honest with you, I mean, be keep it 100. Neither side is clean. It's just we have to wise up.
This whole shit is divide and conquer is the point.
They did that to my country. They divided us beautifully and conquered the fuck out of us. So I'm not even going to go into that.
But here's my point, because I'm not even talking. So I'm talking about, let's go to pre-transatlantic slave trade, right?
Huh?
Pre-transatlantic slave trade.
So before it happened.
Pre-transatlantic slave trade.
Right.
African nations were still warring with each other. They were warring with each other, fucking each other up. And then by the time the Europeans came in and wanted slaves, all they did was they're coming to do business with Africans. They're like, damn, y'all got slaves and shit?
So hold on.
Let me finish my thought. Christopher Columbus studied the west coast of Africa for 10 years. The west coast of Africa for 10 years before he went. Whoever that is, please put your phone on silence. He studied the west coast of Africa for 10 years before he went and petitioned Portugal to get those ships, right? That's why they call, number one, that's why they call Christopher Columbus the father of America. He's the father of America because he's the father of the transatlantic slave trade. Once he realized what they were doing in Africa, he hipped everybody else. So then they came to the African countries like, yo, y'all got any more of them niggas for sale? Okay. So they're like, sure. Enter the Dahomey tribe, the movie they just made 2 years ago with, what was it called? The Woman King. That tribe, all they did was go to neighboring tribes, conquer them, take them over, and sell them off to white people for the slave trade. But what I'm saying is, here's Africa's mistake. Africa spent hundreds of years kidnapping and selling off their own people.
Was that? Hold on. Let's be historically accurate. Was it hundreds of years?
Yes, it was.
From what year to what year do you said it was hundreds of years?
From the 1490s,
okay,
to the late 1800s.
That's not accurate. That's not accurate. That's not accurate.
Well, first of all, you're not even going to let me finish my point. Second of all, it is accurate because, matter of fact, I already did a show on this. The latest account, the oldest slave in America who got videotaped, talked about how the Dahomey tribe came, fucked up his village, all that shit. He was actually sold to America from an illegal slave ship from Nigeria.
I don't even know why you're trying to make him prove that point. Anything happened for centuries. All these reigns lasted for centuries.
But let me finish.
Hold on, hey, Kurt. Let's grant him his point.
I would like to finish.
Let's grant him his point, and then let him finish. Let's grant you the Dahomey tribe and what you're saying. What percentage of that? What percent? Right, and I'll give you. Let's give a rough estimate. What is the rough estimate of the percentage of that
Oh my
That
God.
activity you're talking about is the slave trade.
Question, bro. I'm not answering your question because I'm not finished giving my fucking point. Relax, bro. I'm not answering that shit. So here's the point. Africa spent hundreds of years being greedy and selling out their own people, only to turn around at the turn of the century to have Europe, who built up their money from the labor that they bought off you, to fucking chop your shit up and take everything you got. Like, Africa played the game wrong. That's my only point.
So
yeah, that shit is lacking so much context. And I'll just one question will just give it a little bit of context. So that activity you saying, Africans selling Africans, I'm gonna grant you that. What percentage of that was the transatlantic slave trade?
What percentage was what?
Africans selling Africans was the percentage of the whole transatlantic slave trade.
So it's a fact that 12 million Africans were sold off into the transatlantic slave trade. Now, granted, in the United States of America,
I know where he's going with this.
In the United States of America, only 444,000 slaves actually were recorded to or were reported to.
You might take an L trip.
Have actually touched the United States of America, but the other 12 million slaves were sold off into the transatlantic slave trade.
You might take an L trip.
So let's talk about the actual impact of what you're saying versus, and we're talking about chattel slavery is a whole different thing. We're talking about generations born into slavery where your kid is a slave, that kid's kid is a slave. That's a whole different thing that was not seen ever in the history of the world.
Okay, what does it matter?
It definitely matters what you're talking about.
But
so culturally,
hold up. You kept selling
person to person,
you sold these people off.
Let me bring some historical context in this thing before y'all start arguing and shit. First of all, Africa was warring way before that. First of all, you have to figure out Islam had 1,200 years before chattel slavery.
For sure.
We were already enslaved by the Arabs who came into Africa, enslaving us before that, making us enslave ourselves again. So when the Europeans saw that, that's what happens when you can pick up when Europeans saw what was happening, then they took over to chattel slavery. So you got to understand, we were already enslaved 12 to 1,500 years before that.
No argument.
So they already had the script.
But let me tell you something. Niggas wasn't just coming into Africa, fucking everybody up and taking slaves. No, it took participation.
Yeah. So those stories. That thing exists, right? But if we talk about the totality, let's say if a couple tribes did what you said they did and they got slaves, let's say that, right? What percentage of that is the transatlantic slave trade? Was that the driving force? Was that the majority? Or is that a small percentage of it?
So what is reported is that 12 million people were taken into captivity between the 1400s and the 1800s in the transatlantic slave trade. That's what's reported. 12 million people.
So you're attributing all 12 billion to Africans selling them to white people?
No, so to be right, it was 60 million, but only 12 million made it over to the Americas. To be honest,
no, but Meezy, this is a very important question for Tripp. This is a very important question for Tripp. Are you attributing to all 12 million of those numbers being sold from African to white? None of them were taken against their will.
Yes, I am. But that gives more.
That would be grossly historically inaccurate.
That gives more. So you mean to tell me some Europeans that barely been there before came through the two reigns of Africa and just came and stole a bunch of niggas and rolled out?
Yeah, they had guns.
No, that's not what happened. So here's a story from my village, right? Here's a story from my village. So everybody, so Tripp is right. So let me just make that clear. So they didn't just come into your village and just kidnap you like you see in Roots or some shit. They didn't do that shit, right? So my village, what they told me was that white people, they tried to do that and people in my village killed them off, right? So that didn't happen in my village, but they sent other Africans, like the Yoruba people, to the village. They ransacked the village, kidnapped niggas, and took them off. That's what they didn't do it themselves. So to be honest with you, they They didn't do it themselves, so it was an inside job most of the time.
I mean, but the slavers, they called those people slavers who did that. They were called slavers.
Right.
Like niggas like to talk about Mansa Musa, the richest man ever, blah, blah, blah. Niggas brag about him. Mansa Musa was the biggest slaver ever.
He was Islamic. They had slaves.
What I'm saying is he was a slaver, though.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like I said, that was during the time of the transatlantic Arab slave trade. I mean,
but what I'm if Mansa Musa,
you gotta be accurate, Mo.
The Africans were enslaving Africans way before the
that's all I'm saying.
Due to the Arabs. I want to make that very fucking clear. Due to
like the 7th century on, right?
But what's an Arab? An Arab ain't nothing.
But this is the thing. Slave in different cultures means a different thing, right? Like a slave in one culture could be an indentured servant that served for a certain amount of time and was released.
We had indentured servants.
Generation
like the Arabs were
chattel slavery is different, where generations are born into slavery, where you can't have a family, your name is changed, you're separated from your people.
Arabs are the first people that instituted generational slavery. They are the first people that instituted generational slavery. We didn't have generational slavery back in Africa. We had indentured servitude. So when you finish your indentured servitude, you can go up in the ranks and you can become a general, own houses. You know what I'm saying? Regular citizen. But if you're an Arab slave, that's when you have generational slavery. Your children's children. That's why the Europeans got the script from, to make our children's their slaves and their generation slaves. They got the script from them.
But I will say this: I'll give the Europeans credit, right? At least they weren't castrating niggas. The Arabs were castrating niggas.
No, Europeans castrated us too. To be honest,
what you talking about? I'm giving the Europeans credit, nigga. What? They
only whipped us.
They didn't want us fucking their wives. They castrated us too. What
are you talking about, nigga? What? Let me give the Europeans credit for slavery. What?
I got one question for you, right?
What?
But listen, here, this will fuck all you up.
No, it won't.
Go to the Arab nations today, they still have slavery. When you go to some of these countries in Africa today, they still have slavery.
I never said the Arab slave trade was over.
Hold on.
The United States still has slavery. It's called jail.
Yeah, well, niggas put themselves there.
No, niggas, all niggas don't put themselves in jail. Nigga. Fuck is you talking about?
You'll claim Kamala just put somebody there the other day.
I just want to make a correction. I don't know, since the Africans were here first on Earth, right? Like everybody say, that script came from them.
He's right. We were the first people to put people in indentured servitude. It is what it is.
That's war. Like right, exactly. One thing about I ain't tripping off war. Like if you conquer a people, the people are conquered. They gotta go under your flag. They gotta go under your religion. Whatever you got, right? That's human civilization.
Y'all gotta turn that.
Hey, I gotta go. So I'm see y'all tomorrow. I gotta drop somebody off real quick.
All right, bro.
All right, get y'all.
That's fucking human civilization.
So, Pone, that's what you complain about on this show for 4 years. They conquered. What? You were conquered. Your people were conquered, and so they allowed to do that according to you right now.
No, we were saved. We weren't conquered. We were saved.
Hey, look, man. All I know is fast forward to 2024.
We were saved, man. Sipping on Kool-Aid in the AC and shit.
Niggas who sold us over here on tires trying to float over here and fucking.
Man, you really good. Shit.
Yo, well, so anyway,
fast forward collectively. If we don't have an army, we don't have some type of collective for people dealing wrong with black people. Don't matter what your ideology is, you can whatever color hat you put on, you're still considered black. And if you don't have any consequences, to deal with when they deal with black people, we in the same boat.
Bro, if I go to Mexico and I get in some shit, nigga, I'm contacting the U.S. Embassy, bro. That's who I'm contacting.
So you think let's say if it's a white woman that's traveling with us, do you think you're gonna get the same response as that white woman?
Bro, I don't care.
No, fuck what you don't care. Are you gonna get the same response as that white woman?
Am I gonna get a response? That's all I care about.
No, you should care about what response you get.
Hold on, real quick. What response am I gonna get from niggas?
What response am I gonna get from anybody else that's not this?
Right.
My favorite fucking comedian, Patrice O'Neal, he said this shit, right? He made a joke about it. He's like, man, when they had these black men that was football players that got lost at sea, right? And he was like, man, I think we tried to find them. We tried to look for them, couldn't find them niggas, right? He was like, man, when I go out to sea, I'm gonna put a little white baby on me. They got UGG boots, wear a sweatshirt, and they know it's a white woman or a white baby out there with me. They're gonna search for me for like 3-4 weeks. They're gonna turn every stone. They're gonna look everywhere for us because the life is valued differently.
My nigga, the white people literally, let me stop saying white people. Americans literally just went on a search for the bitch who lied about being captured last year.
So you believe your life is valued the same in America as every other ethnic group?
Bro, listen to me, dog.
You honestly
He wants to be
believe that?
marginalized so bad.
He does.
I just not. No, I'm just saying this.
That's the problem.
In real life terms, do you believe it's the same?
I do. Yes, I do. Yes.
Oh,
Why would you think otherwise?
Because history, laws, situations, scenarios,
personal experience.
like my lying eyes have told me differently that it is not the same.
Cohen, I just don't believe you, bro. Like, nigga, you grew up in a great neighborhood. You went to college. You live in a great neighborhood now. Like, get the.
Hey, I can bet. I'll bet a nominal. I'll bet a nominal $20 that y'all can name three. Hold on. This will crystallize it for you. I bet you $20 you can name 3 white women that have been missing over the last 20 years, but you can't name 1 black woman.
Okay. So what? I don't care.
That means it's not valued the same. They're gonna promote it. They're gonna look for them longer. We're not valued the same. The same amount of just like inherently, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say about it. Inherently,
I said what? Not because I couldn't do what you just asked. I said what because that didn't even make sense. But Karlissa Rudd is one. You said I couldn't name one. She black.
And she got a lot more resources put in her normally than a black child would, and I was happy about
What's her name? Carly Russell.
So this is the last thing I'm saying about inherently, like even when we get pushed to a certain brink in this particular system, right? We know who we can retaliate against and who we can't. If we decide the government is pushing us to a certain brink and we need to do something, we know the full force and weight of the government would be put against us if we commit any act against them. If we commit an act against somebody in our community, it could go unsolved. And we could be walking around the same neighborhood because the value of life is not the same.
But that's anybody from any race.
No, it's not anybody from any.
Even our own race don't think the value is the same.
Right. I mean, like, this shit doesn't hold.
I just explain why the value. What are you talking about, JB?
It doesn't hold. It doesn't hold
the same. You internalize it because you've been taught your whole life. It's not the same.
There's too many.
That's what you're doing as far as America. You're internalizing it because you've been taught.
Not based upon something random. It's based upon. I'm internalizing based upon the treatment I get.
You don't get no bad treatment, nigga. What are you talking about?
Exactly. You tell me I don't get bad treatment.
You just be making this shit up, bro. You make this shit up, man. And it's really sad.
Name one.
I mean, I look. I understand y'all are Republican grifters. Mine is
give us an example.
But I can internalize and understand what treatment I get, but still be successful. That doesn't negate the treatment that I get.
Bro, you better than this.
Did I understand the treatment?
You're better than this.
Nah, you better than this. I ain't gonna knock your hustle and your grip.
You walk in every restaurant you go and you get served exactly how you want. Ain't nobody treating you bad. You can buy whatever you want.
Bad and different are two different things.
You can buy whatever you want on Amazon and it get delivered to your door.
So being able to, you equate buying off Amazon with equality.
You can get whatever tickets. You can get whatever tickets.
So you equate being able to make
to whatever
another white
concert.
man rich
Them
as
niggas
equality.
ain't Africa.
Yeah, you'll
Ain't
let you
beats, man.
like that's number one for us. They use us as consumers. We buy everything. We
Well,
don't
who's
own no
Exactly.
land. We
done to you?
don't
I mean,
fucking own shit. But we'll buy all the CDs, the clothes, the shoes.
that's
We'll
our
go
fault.
You
crazy on
can
Amazon. Yeah, of course.
Cohen.
We're allowed to be
Cohen.
consumers.
You can buy whatever house you want if you go online
No, you
and look.
can't. Yeah, that's
The
not
ones
true.
that you can afford, yes, that is
That's
true.
not true.
Right.
That's absolutely not true.
Cohen.
There's and there's
Whatever
plenty of
house you can
statistics
afford,
that
Cohen.
says that's not true
There's no
because you
There
can
aren't
be
statistics
redlined
that says
and they
that's
have
not true.
housing associations. So that's absolutely not true.
housing associations don't approve loans. You
Exactly, Cohen. What are we talking about?
crazy, dog.
So you just conflated two issues that I didn't conflate. So
But
the
yes, you did,
propensity
because you just
of
said they
black
have
people
housing
not getting
associations.
loans and then housing associations being able to discriminate who lives in a neighborhood are two bad things, but two different things.
Nigga, that's imaginary. That don't exist.
No, there's plenty of evidence that says it does exist.
Oh,
Like evidence. I know you being a Republican grifter, y'all don't care about evidence and facts,
bro.
but there are multiple studies where people that are black that have the same qualifications
Hey, this
get
is the exact
discriminated against.
example that I was
Matter of
talking
fact,
about where you
one of my
internalize.
favorite
This is you
actors when
internalizing the so-called data that they have.
But so let's give a raw example. One of my
If
favorite
you have the
actors,
credit,
one of my favorite actors, Wendell Pierce, attempted to move in a New York neighborhood and could not get approved to live in neighborhood despite being a multi-millionaire and having good credit and being on television. He could not get approved for an apartment that was open. They said he did not meet the
Well,
qualifications.
what is he doing now?
What does that even mean?
Hey, Cohen. Hey, Cohen, you be doing that all the time. You just did that
Give
same
up?
thing.
What the fuck?
Did he live under a
What are you
bridge?
talking about, my nigga?
What happened?
I don't know. Like I can't listen to this shit.
No, I just gave a concrete evidentiary thing. He got online. I was like, hey, this is an example of housing discrimination because I'm a multimillionaire. I've been on several successful TV shows
What
and I
is he
can't
doing
rent an
now?
apartment. I'm on set and I can't rent an apartment. Why can't a multimillionaire actor rent in New York?
And where is he at now?
What the fuck are you talking about, JP?
It's not a valid question.
Hey, I'm about to get the fuck off of here.
That's a valid question. Now hold on, real quick, because we're like fucking Billy Carson has sent us all the way down. Dodge this rabbit hole all night. See what I'm saying, Cole? This is what happens when you go down the fucking rabbit hole.
Nah, fuck that. That wasn't no rabbit hole.
I think we been there. We started talking about God.
Man, yeah.
Now we're talking about a nigga who said shit on the wire can't get an apartment.
Nah, that's not. I'm
sorry. The detective on the wire can't get an apartment.
Yeah, that's bunk.
I don't know how we got here, but
that's bunk. Bunk should be able to rent a fucking apartment, my nigga.
Bert got to step his game up. Kirk, real quick.
See, you ain't shit, and you ain't never gonna be shit.
You know that. You know that, man. Hold on. You know what it is.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? You know what I'm talking about?
Kirk, I would like to hear your thoughts on the Trayon White situation. I don't know if you got to hear my commentary or some of the stuff we were talking about earlier, but that was the point of this show. So let's hear what you think about it.
It looked to me like they just literally was trying to set that man up. Somebody was going down on a PPP loan, and instead of just going down, he was like, "I can get you a bigger fish," and threw that man under the bus.
It could have went down like that, but I don't know. I feel like, in my opinion, Trayon kind of put himself on the radar with that whole campaign finance situation that he went through in March. And I feel like the answer that he gave for why they can't find 80 grand was kind of crazy. So, you put yourselves on the Fed's radar. You know what I mean? So, and then they look at your Instagram, you in Vegas, you in DR. All the Feds had to do was say, okay, well, who paid for the trip? The now informant paid for the trip. Oh, well, we found out this informant He lied on his PPP loan. He did this. He did that. Okay. Give us Trayon. I mean, at the end of the day, Trayon should have moved smarter than that.
And you broke that down real well. That was a good one too. True.
I feel like Trayon should have just moved smarter.
You spreading misinformation, Tripp.
How?
I ain't saying like that was the truth
man,
either.
That man got
I'm just saying.
that man has a 6-figure salary. He can afford to go to Vegas or DR.
But I'm not spreading misinformation.
In the affidavit, it said it was paid for.
They paid for him to go to DR and they paid for him to go to Vegas.
Yeah,
it hasn't been proven yet.
It said it in the paperwork.
I'm just saying. This is what the FBI is saying.
I'm playing God's advocate.
Okay.
Yeah, but nah, I'm but it's trippy because the way the paperwork broke it down in that first paragraph or whatever talks about in 2019 how he took some bread to basically make that situation go away for the dude, and doing that he lost a relationship. Whoever he proposed that situation to, it brought up later on in 2024 that when he did that for him last time, he lost a relationship. So he recognized that he was doing something wrong right there. However, in my personal opinion, he's not doing anything any different than any other politicians do as far as this bread and how it's moved in order to make deals and stuff happen. Yeah, earlier I said who said it was being who said he was using the contract's bread, and that's real because you responded, well, it said when he gets to 1.7 and the 1.3, then you get 3% of that, and that is true. I was referring to the bread that he was getting up front to go in and make sure that he was getting these contracts and things like that. If you know how government contracts and things like that move, yeah, he's prominent enough in there that he might know enough people that he can make sure that like certain people get contracts and all of that. But realistically, like you can know people and still not make sure that they get them contracts at the end of the day. And so like that's also why I feel like he was confirming that like, yeah, you gonna get it seems like, but I ain't seen it like written and I can't confirm 100%, but it looks like you good because he probably wasn't even sure. But at the end of the day,
he's the head of the committee
I feel you. So he I feel you, but another thing that he asked, another thing that he did that was a job wrong, similar to the first thing I mentioned in 2019, was try to use his muscle to flex on that person getting the position. So seeing that joint, like that's blatant abuse of power right there. And so those are like the bad parts, but there's also parts in that joint that make it seem like originally he wasn't even in this for the bread for real. Like dude offered the money for him to go and make sure he was getting the contracts, but when he came to the meeting, he got the bread and was like, what are you looking for? Like, what do you want? And I want to make it clear that like you don't have to give me stuff for me to go and look out for you on this type tip. Like I would do this anyway type situation. And then later on, what was it? It was one other thing that I saw that kind of gave me the inkling that like he ain't really in this for that money. Oh, it was when he talked about the mental health space. It's a little feedback going on or something. But when
I think Cohen is in there getting some cheeks or something.
I'm on mute.
Nah, what I was going to say when he talked about the mental health space, and going into that, the dude kept trying to talk about money, and it seemed like he was pressing like Trayon to agree on money and talk about money too much on that joint to me, to where it would seem a little bit weird. But he said, let's just focus on the mission. I just want to stay focused on the mission, or whatever. I'm not tripping about the money right now. And so all of these things make it seem like to me he wasn't in.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
he wasn't in it for the bread, but once you take the bribe, you take the bribe, and he still took the bread. Yeah. Number one, and then number two, later on, he started like requesting the bread, like it started getting too comfortable, and so that's where the track all happens. But I'm still Team Trayon at the end of the day, rooting for that man. Hopefully, he get all through all of this, and what I think is, if he happens to get through all of this and stay out of jail, this is just a boost to his campaign. At the end of the day, like in my personal opinion, no press is bad press.
Nah, I mean, listen. Like I said earlier, I like Trayon as a person. I I'm not impressed with him as a politician, but I'm not impressed with anyone in DC as a politician because I know what DC politics is. So I don't expect anything. Like, I don't think he did anything to harm Ward 8, but I don't think he helped Ward 8 either, if you get what my drift.
Yeah, I agree. But I also feel like this is knowing the power that this city holds, and then knowing the power that position holds, and knowing that if he isn't in that position anymore, getting somebody close enough to the people who are still of this area back in that position is going to be slim to none chance of that happening. And so you got to hold on to what you got. That's the way I see it. Like,
yeah, but
he might not be like the most impressive record person around, but I think I'd rather a people person for our people here in that position than what could be in that position.
Honestly, I don't think it matters at the end of the day. I think it's already over for Ward 8. I mean, especially for if we're talking race, for the black residents, it's already over.
For the white man in there.
The only thing that's going to happen at this point, I think the only maybe positive thing for the black residents in Ward 8, and this is me looking at it in their shoes, in their position, is that maybe Trayon possibly could have slowed the gentrification down, but I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, you know what I mean? If you spend generations living for free, you don't stack your money, you don't buy property, you're gonna get sent to Maryland. Like, it is what it is.
Don't clean your neighborhood.
It's nothing. You can give out all the turkeys you want. You can go to all the shootings and hug all the mamas that you want. Fine, but it's not. At the end of the day, it's a Band-Aid on a fucking cancerous tumor, in my opinion.
Yeah, man, we need to fix this capitalist system that we live under.
I don't think we need
which
to fix
now
that.
becomes like it's almost like a plutocracy at this point, where we don't have these dangerous levels of poverties in community. You know, we could do it. Other developed nations have figured it out. We just haven't figured it out yet.
Have they? Which one?
There's plenty of Scandinavian, European, and African countries that have better quality of life, better income per citizen, better GDP per these type of citizens. They live better than us. We're not number one in any quality of life standard on the world stage. Not one.
But we're also a superpower. Like, so there's a level of response. There's a level of shit that comes with being a superpower. Okay, yeah, Switzerland has a better GDP than us, but they don't got no nukes. They can't do shit.
I'm speaking about quality of life.
All right, fine.
So this is not like a problem. You look like, well, damn, nobody has ever figured this out. Yeah, they have.
Fine. Then America we should just give her everything we have so we can have a quality of life like Switzerland. It's not gonna happen, bro.
Yeah, because it's racist and white supremacists and
Switzerland can be taken over any day, dog. Any day, a nigga can run in Switzerland and take it. Any day. Niggas can't just run up in the US. Now, they can do what they're doing now and slowly change it with Marxist bullshit that they teach people in these colleges.
Now, actually, every empire has always collapsed under the weight of his own empire. That's what history has taught us.
You know, and you know, you could have politicians that let any and everybody cross the goddamn border, and you know, yeah. But what I'm saying is, Switzerland, if
income inequality will crash this country before immigration.
If the UK wakes up tomorrow and says, "The hell with Switzerland, we're gonna take them," what are they gonna do? We're allies with the UK. China's not gonna back Switzerland over the UK. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if Switzerland could get taken over tomorrow, bro. So
what the fuck do people need in Switzerland? Snow,
bank accounts,
white people.
Damn, that's crazy.
I mean, that's what's in snow, white people, and money. What do they need in Switzerland?
So the people
chocolate.
The people of Switzerland don't matter because they're white.
No, I'm saying people conquer people for either people resources or natural resources. What the fuck does Switzerland have that people want?
What I'm saying is Switzerland doesn't have nukes. Switzerland isn't America.
Switzerland don't have shit people want.
Okay. So
The Alps? Do niggas want the Alps?
So you're gonna just intentionally miss my point. Fine.
I know I heard your point. I'm just countering your point that countries that get invaded, they have shit that people want. They either they have people or they have resources that niggas want. What the fuck do people want from Switzerland?
What country in Africa has these great?
All of them.
All the countries in Africa have great
natural resources. All of them. Yes, all of them.
They're just, but the people are living good.
And you ain't moved over there yet.
All right, bro. Put the bottle down and go to bed, bro. Put the bottle down and go to bed.
What country in Africa doesn't have natural resources?
I didn't say they don't have natural resources, but you
So
said,
what are you talking? So what are you talking about?
Will be the quality of life for the. I said, which one of these countries have this better quality of life than America? You said African countries and Scandinavian countries. That was your answer.
For the average black person,
the average
So we're talking about black people. We're not. That's not a conversation.
Okay. So the average
because the white people in Africa are living amazing. the white people who've gone like in Tanzania, in Botswana, in South Africa, they're living amazing. Actually, if we want to see just white people in Africa, they're living fucking amazing.
That's not the question, sir. The question
so don't keep moving the goalposts.
I'm not moving anything. What countries
I just named 3
in Africa?
I just named 4.
People live better than America.
Okay, so we're switching back to black people. I watched how you moved. I caught it when you try to move the goalposts.
Okay, sir. Originally, you said who were you referring to when you were saying people are living better?
I was just saying. I was saying quality of life in general.
Okay. So what?
Where America ranks versus other countries, we're like 18th in quality of life, in healthcare, in infant mortality, in age people live. All of the factors that give you quality of life, we are not even in the top 10 anymore.
That's not even quality of life. But okay, fine. If you're gonna call that quality of life, fine. I'm talking about
how long you live, how long your money goes, how old your baby lives. That's not your quality of life. Your food, that's not your quality of life.
How free are you?
They mad free. What are you talking about? They don't live in North Korea or.
I can't believe.
What you talking about?
I can't believe you said Africa. That's just wild to me.
So
which African country is this?
So that's your ignorance towards Africa.
Which African country is it?
In terms of, are we talking about just regular people, black people? What are we talking about?
You said.
Are we clarify? Because if we just say white people, we could say a bunch of countries.
Where the average person's
the average quality of life for white people in South Africa, in Morocco, in Botswana, in it's a country. They just put a fucking satellite. They just put a satellite in the air.
So is the average person in Botswana living better than the average person in America?
The average white person is that absolutely.
No, now you're moving the goalposts. I'm going back to what you said, bro. The average person. Is the average person in Botswana living better than the average person in the U.S.?
Depends on what factors.
Oh my God! All right.
Well, you tell me what factor. You ain't moving over there.
Yeah, well, I'm actually leaving the U.S.
You got to put your camera on so I can see.
I'm actually leaving the U.S. I'm leaving the U.S.
All right, bro. All right, this is what we're gonna do. We've talked long enough. We're 3 hours in. JP, what's your final words, bro?
I just want to thank everyone for interesting conversation. It was nice. 3 hours of it. Wow, right? I guess closing remarks on Trayon White. the community probably wondering if he, was he just playing the game like everyone else, But he has a decision to snitch. I think he should take that. I think he should take that road. Some big players might get exposed, right? But we'll see how it plays out. It's a big hit for Trayon. So one thing's for sure, DC's politics just got a little bit messier, So we'll see what's to come. But thank you for having me join the podcast tonight.
For sure. Thanks, JP. I don't know where Cosby went. I was going to give him the last some of his last words, but Kirk, we'll go with you. What you got?
I don't really got much. Just keep the unity in Ward 8 specifically, but the whole city for real. He said politics just got a little more messy, but black everything in the city just got a little more messy because now everybody's gonna be contemplating on which side they on, whether they with him or whether they against him, just like they always are during election season anyway. And they typically mess with him during election season. So this is just the way everything is ramped up nationally, internationally, is ramped up locally too. So they just trying even harder to get him out of there. So just make sure everybody here staying unified too and working together and however things go moving forward.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Cosby.
First of all, I still support Trayon White. I know him personally. I've seen the work he's done in the community. And I need to see how this whole situation plays out. Can you hear me?
Shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I heard you. I don't know why he don't. I do.
Okay, so yeah, and that's my stance on that. Shout out to everybody who listened today. We talked about a lot of topics, but when it comes down to it, I just tell my black people, don't fall for the conservative grift. I love my people, but they conservative grifters. And they only have themselves and their family in mind. They're not community minded. And make sure you take care of your community. That's my final thoughts.
All right, cool. Appreciate everybody for coming through tonight. For sure. I'll keep it brief, man. When it comes to Trayon White, like I said, I like the guy personally. Don't have a problem with him. I think he's a good guy. When it comes to politics in DC, that's tricky. I don't expect people to be something that is kind of impossible. Like, I don't think he hurts his district, and I don't think he necessarily helps them. I mean, he does some things on the surface that seem great. So if people get joy out of that, I'm not going to knock that. You know what I mean? Free turkey, hugs at the shootings, fine. It's nothing wrong with that. But I think that we kind of get it twisted when it comes to what's actually going on here. The FBI, and I want to be careful because I don't want to disparage Trayon White, but the FBI is essentially doing you a favor if you're a citizen of Washington, D.C. If you have a politician who is maybe not picking the best company to do the job and only picking this company because he's getting paid under the table, that's wrong at the end of the day. That's wrong. As much as we want to say, the FBI is out to get black men, blah, 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 at the end of the day, bro, if he did what they're saying he did, then he's wrong and he should just take accountability for it. It sucks that this happened to a good guy. It is what it is. It is what it is. Sometimes life isn't fair, but my nigga, you got caught red-handed. My best advice for you is don't play with the feds. They measure twice. They cut once. So take the goddamn deal they're trying to give you and then move on with your life, bro. That's it for me. If no one has any rebuttal to what I have to say, we can go ahead and cut the show. JP, Kirk, how do you feel?
Peace, my nigga.
Peace. We out.